The moment you've all been waiting for.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
I suppose we should get going.
Yeah! Let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh man.
Oh, welcome everybody. What's happening? How's everybody feeling out there? Oh, Dex and Steve-O. Good morning, Starmy. How you feeling, Steve-O?
Oh, so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what today is?
It is Wednesday, my dude.
Oh.
I miss that kid. When do I get to see Brody?
You know, better be careful what you wish for, because recently he asked me when school was out if he could wake up early with me and come do the show.
Oh boy.
So, we'll see.
Okay. Well,
I don't know how I feel about that yet.
he's a little young for 4 hours. I don't know. I mean, 4 hours. I mean, 5 hours, really. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you can just tell him I miss him, love him. You know, I thought we were going to share custody,
Oh, okay.
but I haven't
Yeah, no.
seen him. So,
No.
anyway.
Yeah, no.
Welcome, everybody. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Just
That's
search
right.
Star 88, and you can watch the show every day. Every day we're uploading the shows.
Every day we're hustling.
That's right. Elizabeth, Winifred, good morning. Afternoon, guys. What?
Oh, Whitney.
I guess it is afternoon. She's chiming in from across the pond.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good afternoon to you as well. Yeah, you guys can check in. Let us know where you're streaming us from. You can text in. What's the live line number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483.
Phone lines are open as well. 505-338-3700. We love to hear your precious little voices, you know?
Risa on Facebook says I need to bring Brody in. So
Okay. All right.
we will see what happens, guys.
Yeah, school's almost out, right?
Yeah, this is it.
the
I
last
think
week?
today's the last day for my boys, which means as of, 3 o'clock today? Or noon, actually. They get out noon.
Mm.
I'll have a high schooler.
Crazy. That's so crazy. I know. My daughter, she's I'm okay. She's going to be a freshman next year as well. Yep.
Gosh.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
My oldest is going to be a junior in high school, and Lando will be in 7th grade.
Dang, dude.
How the time just pulls away from you.
Mm-hmm.
But, no.
Is it weird that, like, Jaden and Landon are the exact ages of Jack and Luke?
Are they really the exact ages?
Yeah. Jack's going to be a freshman, and Luke's going to be in 7th grade.
Wow. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's almost as if we planned it.
Maybe we did.
Yeah.
We, I don't know. I guess we didn't hang out. When did we start hanging out? Maybe we did. Because I got that picture that I have that I showed you a while back of our kids, where we were at Dave Martinez's house.
Yeah, on the monkey bar thing.
And they were so little.
Tiny.
They were like 2 years old.
Yeah, they were tiny.
That's how far back we go.
Yep.
So tiny. Man, we were so young and beautiful. And what happened?
I found an old prom photo of us.
I know. Yeah, I was looking
Crazy.
at that the other day. I'll have
So-
to post that one again. That's a good one.
Shout out to the member of the Star Army who chimed in on the live line, said, I'm streaming from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Beautiful.
Welcome.
Love that.
Dude.
Oh, man. Stacy is in Lemoore, California.
All right.
That's cool. Let's see.
Oh, wow. Sherry from Tejares is no longer in Tejares. She said, good morning from Sherry in Tampa.
Oh, Tampa? Get out of Florida. What are you doing?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't have to get out of Florida.
Get out of there, man.
Oh, come on.
It's a dangerous place to live.
Why? Because alligators?
Silver foxes, gators, giant insects. You know? I mean, strange things are afoot at the Florida. Yeah, I hope you're doing good. Glad you guys are chiming in. You can take us wherever you're going, wherever you are moving. We're available through the app. You can download through iTunes, through Facebook and YouTube. So hit us up anytime. Yeah, it is Wednesday, my dudes. We got a big show today. I was just reading about some fast food, and apparently it puts you in a bad mood. Really? No
Hold
kidding.
on.
Huh?
Just going to go ahead and eat this real quick. I can't.
That burrito looks like cardboard. Gross.
It's
Does it taste like
hard.
cardboard?
It's all I've got, guys. Listen. Ain't nothing wrong with a little fast food in the morning to get your day going. Or is there?
You want to know who the devil is? The devil is in a lot of things.
The details?
Let's take a Happy Meal, for instance.
Okay.
Just the name Happy Meal. Happy Meal? Oh, I'm going to be so happy when I eat this meal. No, you're not. You're going to get put in a bad mood. It's the devil, that's why. Yeah. All right, in this study, I can't believe they waste their money on this. Apparently, eating fast food puts you in a bad mood. That's according to Rachel Kelly. She wrote a book called The Happiness Diet. She says that it's because of all the trans fat in fast food, especially the fries. They mess with the levels of omega-3 fatty acids in your body, which can lead to you being pessimistic, aggressive, and depressed. Man, we're saying this a lot on the show. We have said this a lot on the show where, you feel depressed, you're feeling unmotivated. It might have to do with your diet because guess what? I was that guy for so many years. I still can be that guy. At least once or twice a week. I can feel it. When I hit the fast food, oh my gosh. It's like taking a nosedive.
Yeah.
The depression, the way
Dude,
you feel.
it's so
Ugh.
true. It's been I don't know what happened, but like a week ago, I started hitting up the Golden Arches for breakfast.
Did you? I know.
And
He offers me one every morning.
I've been a grump. That's because I've got that twofer thing, man. And I'm a sucker. And I now know the manager by name.
Oh my gosh. What?
But have I been a grump? Yeah, I have been a grump. No, never mind. I can't justify it. I'm such a grump, guys.
Hey, next time you're in, say hi to Carlos for me. I haven't seen that guy in a while. We used to be pretty close. He's a good dude.
I have an extra McGriddle. If you
Nah,
want.
I mean, let me pray about it. I'll get back to you.
It's so bad for you. Don't do it, guys.
It's so bad.
It really is. Why do we
bad.
do that? Why do we put up with things knowing that it's terrible for our diet, our well-being?
Because in the moment, it's beautiful and delicious, and it makes us feel good in that moment.
Okay.
Afterwards, though, we know we're going to have to continue drinking a Coke or that's the process throughout the day, right?
Yeah.
It's like you eat or you drink something that's terrible for you. You feel good, and then all of a sudden you crash, and you're like, oh, give me more, and it's just this constant thing, and then your body stores it, and you get obese, and feel depressed.
This seems like literally anything that's temporal that you put up with in your life.
Yep.
Seriously. This book's called The Happiness Diet, and it's so true, because you think you're happy for a moment, and then
Yeah.
I'll get sick.
Isn't that the devil, though?
What, happiness for a moment?
That's how he wants you to feel.
Oh,
He comes in as this angel of light.
Check it
you
out.
know? He's
Well, that's with all
beautiful.
sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seems like this is going to be a dope idea. Yes, my bro. Let us do this.
Yep.
Devils let us do this.
Oof.
And you do. and then that guilt or shame or resentment, like whatever, starts creeping in, and you're like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. She said some of the other foods that she says will put you in a bad mood. Diet soda. Come on, people. Hey, will you go get me one of those Diet Dr. Peppers in there?
No!
This, you know what? I haven't had cereal in, I think, about a year. How crazy is that?
Really?
I used to eat cereal all the time. I haven't drank milk in I don't know how long.
No.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Couldn't go without my sugary loops with fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depression, bro.
Great.
Prepackaged donuts.
Oh, no. I had like 3 packages of those yesterday.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Did you?
They were just on the cart, the
Yeah?
snack cart.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. Salty snacks, canned food, shortening, and margarine.
I am going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dead soon.
Let's just say, okay, out of that list of the things I just mentioned, let's say you just stopped those right there. That could be huge in your life.
Yeah,
Be huge.
absolutely. Dang, dude, prepackaged donuts? Are you kidding me?
Those are the worst, man. Come on.
Which is hilarious because literally yesterday I was talking about how I don't super dig chocolate.
Yeah.
And then I partooked.
Mm-hmm. Here's what's this is what's funny. This is so true. She said, fast food isn't the only food that she says will bum you out. Basically everything that tastes good will. So anything that you are putting in your body that tastes really good, if you are known to be the guy or girl that goes out and eats really bad things,
Yeah.
if it tastes good, spit it out. Serious.
Wait, what?
Because it's bad for you.
No,
if it tastes good.
No.
Now, this is what I've learned in my journey. If it tastes
This
good.
burrito's pretty good.
Yeah, because your taste buds are all out of whack. They're not the taste buds that you have right now. Yeah, see, that's not even good. Your taste buds. My taste buds are completely different now. When I try to eat something that's like on that list, it's not as good. But when I eat healthy things like veggies and steak, oh my gosh.
But that tastes good to you now.
But it's good for me.
Yeah, but you just said if it tastes good, you have to spit it out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just shut your
You
mic
just
off.
turned my mic
See
off.
it?
I
I didn't mean to,
Weird.
but maybe I did mean to.
Because if it tastes good to you now,
That's true.
that means it's healthy. It just means you got to change what tastes good.
I know.
Somebody said, but what about like salads from Dion's or Chick-fil-A or Domino's? Is that fast food? Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, Domino's.
Well, and that's what you got.
Maybe not Dion's salad. Is Dion's salad fast food?
Well, you got to be careful, man, because you got to be careful with all the salad dressing and all the things you put on it, because that's where you get yourself in trouble.
Somebody said the chocolate donuts aren't real. Maybe that's why I like them.
They're not real.
They're waxy.
Oh, you know what? They are. They are waxy.
Dude, you know what? Throwing down that wax like a DJ. Wicka, wicka, what? I'm telling you, dude, there's something about them that I just like, I can't say no.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said I gave up McDonald's 10 years ago.
Good for you. That's good.
Another member of somebody said, so basically, Dex, just don't enjoy life. That's what the advice is.
No.
Don't enjoy life.
No. Here's what I'm trying to say is that your taste buds will change once you start eating the foods that are really good for you. You'll really start to enjoy those foods.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would enjoy chowing down on some vegetables and salads and just it's good things. And I crave those things now. I don't crave the junk and the fast food and the sugar.
Yeah.
I crave the really good things.
Dude, yesterday I had salmon,
Ooh.
asparagus, sweet potatoes.
See you there?
It was so good. So good.
Hey, next time you throw some things in a crock pot,
Yeah.
throw in an artichoke.
Okay.
Like the whole artichoke.
Yeah.
My Uncle
And then you,
George in
pull
San Diego
the
did that.
Leaves
Yeah.
off and
Yeah. I never thought of putting an
really?
artichoke in
Never
there.
done-
No, I've
okay.
never done that.
Yeah.
And when I opened up the crock pot and I saw a couple artichokes in there, I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And they were so delicious.
When he disagrees, when he says it's good for you to have junk one day a week. Oh.
You know what? That's kind of me.
No, you can't say that. You just went back on it. That's like telling the
But-
crackhead it's okay to like hit that rock every now and then.
Okay.
It's not okay.
I don't know if that's the same thing. though.
Kind of the same
I
thing.
don't know if I
Maybe.
agree with that. No, I don't think so. I mean, it could be in your life. It depends on how bad your problem is, I guess. How bad your addiction is. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to anything I have to say, okay?
We just went back on everything.
I've struggled with eating for, the past 40 years of my life, and now I'm finally starting. I'm on like a really good. This has been the best year. It's May, and I'm proud of myself. I'm doing pretty good as far as staying away from the sugar.
Yeah.
And the gluten.
Sam's
Not saying I cut it all out, but
see, Sam says I think Dex spent too much time in California with all them healthy foods.
yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
But see what happened? Psalm 1. You were hanging out with the good people.
Yep.
Blessed are you.
Yep.
You're not standing in the way of those crazy sinner foods.
Mm-hmm.
Christina says this is so true. After eating healthy, your whole mindset changes and your body feels good, but it's good to have a cheat day.
It is good to have a cheat day.
I'll get behind that. We have friends who are like, what were their titles? What would you say the titles are? I don't want to give them fake titles, but like kind of like healthy nutritionists, if you will. They were so anti-cheat day. So anti. Because it was like, no, you can never cheat. It's never good.
Yeah.
But, man alive, go a month without a zebra cake, and that morsel of goodness will just...
Chocolate mud lava cake?
What?
I don't know. I made that up. I don't know if that's real or not.
Chocolate mud lava cake.
It's like it's mud cake and lava cake combined with a chocolate flow, like the Hawaiian volcanoes. Whew. Good morning, Matthew. Christina. Live on Facebook. Sam, good morning. We're also on YouTube. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the show.
Somebody said, perfect advice. I stopped eating McDonald's because I moved. It's easy to not eat it when you don't drive by it every day. Just move.
Yeah.
Where are you going to move that you don't drive by McDonald's?
Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Okay.
Do they have one there?
They do have one there. But you do have to drive to a certain
Ennis,
area
Montana.
of town. Yeah.
They don't have
exactly.
one. They have a Dairy Queen and that's it.
Speaking of moving, somebody offered you a nice place in Taos or Santa Fe because that's where you belong with all the hippies.
Ah, kombucha and coffee? What?
Those would be terrible together. Now you're just trying to sound like a hippie.
No, when I was down, when I was driving down in Ocean Beach, I saw a stand and it said kombucha and coffee. And that's exactly what I said to my Uncle George. That's a weird combination.
They make it. I know there's a cold brew that is made like a kombucha coffee cold brew.
There it is. That's what it is.
Nope.
Get your kombucha and coffee.
I tried it because
You
they're
hippie?
like, dude, it's healthy. It's like the super healthy option as far as coffee. And I'm, blah. You're eating an alien, guys. Like the kombucha stuff. It's like alien blood.
Yeah, but it's good for you, man.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Good for your tummy. Shannon wants to know, what do you do on your cheat day, Dex? Sometimes you know what? Last cheat day I did McDonald's. I had a quarter pounder and a Coke and a fry, and it didn't taste very good.
See, exactly.
Doesn't taste like it used to. That's for sure.
That's because you've had real food, and you're like, oh, this weak fake substance that, like, yep.
It's your body is recognizing as like,
Yeah.
what is this? Get this out of me.
There's no substitute for a real good burger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh,
I hear you, man. You know what? Enough.
I am
enough
so
about
hungry.
This. Yeah, no, I'm starving.
What's in the headline today?
Here is your headline.
Starting July 1st, ferrets, goats, and hedgehogs can no longer fly American Airlines, even if they're support animals.
okay. Who has a support goat?
Really? Who has a support goat? Are you kidding me? I have a support goat. Actually, I've never seen a support goat. I don't travel all that much, but I'm sure people travel with their goat. Remember the peacock?
Yeah.
Some person had a peacock, a support peacock. What does he call him? The peacock support animal?
Yeah.
Yeah, July 1st, they're saying, hey, you fly American Airlines? No ferrets, no goats, no hedgehogs. Nope. Not allowed.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like proud of the airline and dumbfounded that people try and use those animals as support animals.
Mm-hmm. They said we support the rights of customers, from veterans to people with disabilities with legitimate needs for a trained service or support animal. Unfortunately, untrained animals can lead to safety issues for our team, our customers, and working dogs on board our aircraft. I have to believe that most of the dogs or animals that you see at the airport aren't really there for support.
Well, last time I flew with the dog, they weren't a support dog. It was just this couple that was like ridiculously wealthy that decided to go get a real English bulldog.
It's exactly why people say it's the support animals.
Oh, so they don't have
so
to
expensive.
pay for it?
I mean, it's really expensive if you want to fly with your pet.
Yeah.
And usually you'd have to put it in a cage, I think, under the plane. There's a little area where they keep.
No, you don't.
No, I'm serious. They have a storage area.
You put an animal in a storage under the plane.
Not the storage bin.
No, I know what you're saying.
But there's like an area where they put them in a cage. You have to have
don't
them in
they
a cage.
pressurize that area? Wouldn't they
Not that
explode?
Area. I might be making all this up.
You were making all of it up, and I'm busting you right now.
Somebody told me that.
Gosh, you believe stupid things.
Googling it right now.
They don't put animals on underneath the plane.
Do they put animals in a... Okay, let's see. Okay, where exactly do they store pets on a plane? Okay?
Oh, man.
All right, let's find out here.
I can't believe this.
Let's see here. Pets, however, aren't people, even if they were capable of enjoying all the... Okay.
Okay, my chiropractor and dear friend, Dr. Bree, just chimed in to say that they totally put them under the plane.
Thank you.
She has a friend that works for Delta. You know what, Doctor?
Ooh.
You may be good at cracking necks, but you don't know everything about airplanes.
No, that's where they have, let's see, pet cargo myths and facts. There we go. Here we go. Pets flying in cargo. Let's see. Myth.
They have to be large animals because small animals can freeze to death underneath there. That's real. I just read that on Facebook, so it must be real.
On most flights that accept pets, the cargo area itself is climate controlled, just like the passenger cabin above. So why do airlines have temperature restrictions? Blah,
hey,
blah, blah.
you don't have to keep reading. No one cares. Literally, no one cares.
You're right.
No one cares.
Yeah, well, but at least you know now. Just at least you know.
Touche.
Anyways, so
you were right.
Hey, people with
although
goats.
I just totally succumb to your guys' claims.
Really? What?
Yeah. How do I know this is actually true? Just because a doctor said that, hey, yes, they do. I know somebody who works for Delta.
How many, you know what? Just Google it yourself. Figure out which websites you feel like you can trust.
My mom says Fox News. Yeah.
Oh, that's so wimpy. Come on, give it all you got. Go!
You're so cute, little goat.
Yeah.
So cute.
Somebody says, the cargo area isn't pressurized or heated. The animals would totally die. And then they just chimed in to say, I stand corrected. Yeah, somebody said they once saw a miniature horse in an airport.
Yeah, I believe that. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, they're starting to crack down, guys. So, do you really need an emotional support animal?
No.
I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you do.
If anything, my animal makes me emotional, and I don't want to support it anymore.
For real.
It's expensive. Rocket needs to go get a job.
Good morning, everybody. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Star 88s. Join us. Leave a comment. Check in with us. Where are you guys streaming us from? Where are you guys listening in from? 505-585-LIVE. That's the live line number. You can text in. Hey, Greg Laurie going to be on the show this morning.
That's
Pastor
right.
Greg Laurie. He'll be on at 7:30. Talk about Harvest America, because I don't know if you know this, but hey, this guy right here next to me, we're heading out to AT&T Stadium, Dallas, for Harvest America. We're broadcasting live again. Man, I'm looking forward to that trip.
I cannot wait.
It's going to be great. So we're going to talk to Greg Laurie about that.
Yeah.
When we come back, Will Smith is in the news Apparently, I don't know if you follow him on YouTube. You should, if you haven't yet. He is so great.
He's just so real.
He's real. He's encouraging. He motivates. And yeah, if you're not, he's super clean. Great for the family. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about Will Smith. He became the Fresh Prince, of course, way back. Did the Fresh Prince start in the 80s or was it early 90s?
That's a great question.
I want to say it was like the late 80s, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, so Will Smith's going to motivate us. We're going to talk about fairy tales coming up. We're going to talk about how a 911 dispatcher hung up on somebody. Come on. Good morning, everybody. We're live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. We'll be right back.
Star 88 thanks Jake Canales at Doorway Home Loans for becoming a power partner. Jake Canales at Doorway Home Loans provides VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional home loans for purchase and refinance mortgages. Jake Canales, Doorway Home Loans, 505-261-5138. Doorway.com/Jake-Canales. Jake Can. Philippians 4:13. NMLS number 310617. Doorway Home Loans, a DBA of International City Mortgage Incorporated. NMLS number 222730.
This week on Connect with Skip Heitzig, Skip gives you a good reason for you not to worry.
A day of worrying will leave you far more tired than a good hard day at work. And so Jesus says, don't worry. First of all, because of who you are. You are a child of God.
Connect with Skip Heitzig this week as he continues his series through the parables of Jesus.
Make an appointment for Skip Heitzig weekdays at 8 a.m. on our sister station, KNKT 107.1 FM. The Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
We choose to express ourselves through music.
Look at us, stuck in a rut. I don't care. It's a snare, trapping us down with the dirt and the leaves. I can see inside the sun, through the trees, lighting the earth, evergreen. Only with you near me. Lift me up when I go, wipe the sweat from my brow. Losing fights on my own, I can rely on you. Don't expect no I care. Comprehend all that I get. What have I ever done to rely on you? Pick me up, brush all the dust from my face. Staring straight into a love sought for so long. Different shapes I expect, simpler still than all my dreams. Settling so perfectly in front of me. Lift me up when I go, wipe the sweat from my
examines the life of David in this Star PowerPoint.
Unlike the average king, even unlike the average king in Israel, unlike the average king or the typical king, David actually loved the law. Now, kings typically did not love laws. Kings love to be the law. In fact, when a king broke the law, they would often adjust the law to match the words of the king, because the king's words were the final words. And yet throughout his reign, we discover that David actually loved the law even when the law condemned him. And instead of changing the law or adjusting the law, it's an incredible story. David allowed himself to be broken over God's law. And throughout the literature that he wrote and throughout the Psalms, he declares that he loves God's law because he believed, in fact, that Israel's law was the law that God had given the nation. And that conviction, and this is a big takeaway for many of us, that conviction provided him with extraordinary clarity.
That's Andy Stanley with a PowerPoint on Star 88.
What's going on in the news today?
Uber reverses a controversial policy on the way sexual assault or harassment claims are handled.
If you got into an Uber, it meant you'd agreed to arbitration, not court, if you had a legal issue with the company, unless you'd opted out within a specific time frame. That went for employees as well. Well, now Uber says that's over. If you have a claim, you can take it to court.
Writer Tom Wolfe, often seen in his trademark white suit, best known for Bonfire of the Vanities, made into a 1990 film starring Bruce Willis and Tom Hanks.
You want to build a road or a hospital, and you need a lot of money?
Also known for The Right Stuff, adapted from his book immortalizing America's first astronauts and Chuck Yeager, the pilot who broke the sound barrier.
Some kind of war hero.
His agent said he died after an infection.
Some cafeteria workers are told to not give a child a hot meal if records show their parents are behind on lunch money payments.
Robinson Cano, the Seattle Mariners all-star second baseman, is suspended for 80 games over a drug violation.
Facebook details how it finds content which violates its standards and how many flagged posts were recently purged from the site. Reps say in the first quarter of this year, the social network disabled more than 580 million fake accounts and took down over 830 million pieces of spam.
Oh, hi. Good morning. Welcome to the show. How you doing? Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Oh, what? Okay, we're going to jump into that here in a second.
I had no idea it was.
No idea.
Oh, no.
Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing? I've been sipping on that Albuquerque juice all day, man. I love you, Stormy.
What exactly is Albuquerque juice?
I don't know. No, I have no idea. What is that?
Oh, welcome to the show.
That's right, everybody. Live from the Dreamstar Remodeling, Star 88 Studios. You guys can be a part of the show. Facebook and YouTube. Good morning. We're live. You can watch the show. You can watch us act a fool. That's how we do it every morning. What's that live line number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483.
Let's just hear the, you know what? Let's just hear this breakdown.
I just want to hear you sing more.
All right. Hold on. I've been sipping on that Albuquerque juice. Every day is cool. Every day is nice. Summer's here and we're ready to go out to the hills to be with you.
You lost it. You lost it, man.
With you. I did. Need a lot of work, guys. Need a lot of work. I'm no Will Smith, that's for sure. Which, by the way, we decided we're going to talk about Will Smith tomorrow. If you were excited that we're going to talk about Will Smith and how he became the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because we teased it, we're going to move it to tomorrow because it's a really long story and we decided, well, we'll just have to cut it up.
It's such a great story, though.
Yeah. Anyways, we got a lot to do. We got Pastor Greg Laurie on the show this morning.
We do.
Man, one of the greats, man. And he's such a great guy.
He is.
So about 7:30ish, we'll talk to Pastor Greg Laurie, Harvest America. He's going to pump us up, and they always need volunteers. So maybe you got that heart to serve. Then tune in around 7:30 or come back to the podcast later. I'm sure he's going to give us details on that. All right, did you want to talk now that we found out?
I know. Now that we know it's local.
Yeah, I didn't know this was local.
I didn't know it was local either. This was a national news story.
Ugh. Okay. A 911 call dispatcher at the Albuquerque Fire Department has resigned after audio was released from a recent emergency call in which he told a teen who called to report her friend had been shot to deal with it yourself. To deal with it yourself is what the operator said to the caller. And then hung up. What? I mean, someone calls 911 and
what
reports
society are we in, man?
Right? This past June, Esperanza Quintero, 17, made a 911 call after her friend Jaden Chavez Silver, also 17, was shot in a drive-by shooting at a house party. I remember that happening. That was, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew Sanchez, the dispatcher who answered the call, can be heard repeatedly asking if the victim is breathing in audio obtained by ABC News. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's the investigation that's going to be underway. It's like, why would a dispatcher say that? You know,
right.
Like, what? That's you're trained to do the exact opposite of what you just did. Like,
yeah.
What do you mean? I don't get it. Do they think it was a prank call or something? I don't understand.
It made national news because this happened a few years back. And what's crazy about the story, like, as it's like, I mean, it's already come to light, but we were talking about this off air, the idea of being desensitized to something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we just get to places where, because we've seen so much in television and film and whatever, we're just desensitized to, like, human beings around us?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely
like
agree
lack
with
of
that.
compassion, lack of care, lack of whatever it may be.
So you're saying that this 911 operator, you know, that's their job, and so they're constantly getting these phone calls.
Yeah.
And so
they just become numbers.
Yeah.
Statistics. People don't really have, like, we kind of remove value from something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's you probably nailed it. Quintero, who can be heard in the audio soothing her friend and telling him to stay with me in the call, said she got frustrated after Sanchez kept asking the same questions over and over and over again. After asking if her friend was breathing again, Quintero replies, "He's barely breathing. How many times do I have to tell you?" Okay, you know what, ma'am? You can deal with it yourself. That's what the 911 operator, dispatcher said. "I'm not going to deal with this, okay?" Then Quintero responds, "No, my friend is dying." And then that's when the dispatcher hung up. The audio cuts off. So clearly frustrated, but I mean, this poor girl is holding her friend who just got shot, is barely breathing. And I guess that's kind of what dispatchers do, is they kind of ask the same, same questions a lot of times. And then this girl gets frustrated, and then dispatcher gets frustrated back, that's when it all fell apart. You know, that's where it went wrong. So yeah, that dispatcher resigned.
Somebody said absolute lack of grace. And Pastor Dre said, yes, that's absolutely it. Like,
yeah,
we are desensitized to the people around us. But here's a big question. How do we change that? What can we do to fix that, Star? I mean, like, we are all susceptible to this, that lack of grace, that idea that we ourselves are more valuable than someone else around us. We don't have time. We do that regularly when we turn our backs on somebody who needs help.
Yeah.
When we, and you know, this isn't to guilt trip anybody to like hand a homeless guy cash, but how often are you pulling up and you see that guy in the corner and you intentionally pull? It's easier now because it's illegal. So now you're
not allowed to do that in the car.
But
well,
like,
in the car, you're not.
You know what I mean? But how often was it like, I got to roll the window up. I got to look to the right.
Yeah.
I'm going to look down, pretend like I'm on my phone. I'm going to just be anywhere.
You know what I started doing? I started rolling my window down and giving them a smile or just saying, hey, how are you?
That's free.
Yeah. What'd you say?
A smile. It's free, man.
That's free. That's free.
It's good, man.
That's good. No, I'm serious. And you know what? It is free. But at the same time, it's illegal to do that. You're not allowed to give them money or food or anything out of your vehicle. And most of them are panhandlers. They're scam artists, you know? And we shouldn't be giving them money anyways.
But you're making my point right now.
Why? Because I'm smiling and saying hi?
No, but you just designated that person this. And now that person will forever just be a thing, that. I'm not picking on you in particular because we all do that. We put them in a category, we put them in a box, and we go, yeah. But to the Lord, everyone is a soul. Like that's a soul. Sure, you have a body, but you are a soul, as C.S. Lewis said. And everyone has eternal value. And I'm so susceptible to this. I do this regularly. But it was something that when I read the article, it was like, how have we gotten to a place where we have so little compassion for human life?
Yeah. I think of when Jesus talked about Lazarus and the rich man.
Yeah.
You know, Lazarus was this poor guy outside of the rich man's house, and the rich man was feeding him dog scraps, basically.
Yeah.
And how many times do we do that? Like, oh, here's a little extra.
Yeah.
You know what? Here.
I mean, they call it a doggy bag for a reason.
I mean, it's true.
Teresa says, so what are we to do if we are really led to give someone something? Do we break the law?
No, you pull over.
Yeah.
You park.
That's
and
part
then
of
you walk across the street and you hand it to them. That's how you.
That's illegal.
Yeah. You're allowed to give them things, not in your car while you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can't throw things at them while you're driving by them.
Yeah.
It's not allowed either.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's just so awful to hear what this dispatcher did. You know, back to the dispatcher here who resigned over that 911 call that was released. And the young lady who was there holding her friend who got shot and who's dying in her arms, you know, she's basically like, hey, this was this person's job. I don't understand why he would have hung up. She said, I cussed at him once. I was frantic. I was scared. I'm only 17. I don't know how to handle this situation. I did as best as I could. I tried to keep calm. He didn't talk me through it. And they don't know whether or not if the dispatcher would have stayed on the phone, if that 17-year-old would have still been alive.
Right.
You know? But still, that's the job of the dispatcher, is to be there on the phone. I mean, you're not supposed to hang up.
Dude, and I'll tell you what. Somebody just had a great point. The girl was 17 in a very scary incident. The average adult would not act accordingly in that situation. Those that have been listening long enough know that about a month ago, a couple months ago now, a kid was shot, and we found him in my front yard.
Yeah.
And we ran out there, and my neighbor Tiffany, thank God, was already out there. She's a labor delivery nurse. And we were able to stop the bleeding, able to save this kid's life as like the paramedics showed up and everybody. But I will tell you right now, I'm a grown man, and it was still a terrifying situation. There's a gunshot wound victim like in my rocks, and I'm going, Okay, what do we do? Where do we focus, pay attention? Chrissy's over there praying. Neighbor's like, can you lift his legs? Can we apply pressure here? We got to, It was crazy.
Yeah.
And there were 3 adults in that situation. This is a 17-year-old girl, frantic, not knowing what to do.
Right. Yeah.
Calling on the authority.
Yeah, somebody who's trained, somebody who's a professional at this.
That will give them, that's why you call 911. Because I immediately called when the kid was in our front yard. I'm calling, and it's like, your call is very important to us. I'm not even kidding. And it was like, I didn't even know you could be put on hold. I didn't even know this was real.
Right.
They got there as soon as they could. But still, we were adults in that situation, and it was a terrifying situation.
Yep. 505-338-3700 if you'd like to call in.
Yeah. By the way, for those that are curious, because Christina chimed in and said, wait. There's a law that you can't give money to a homeless person? Yeah.
Well, while you're in your vehicle.
I was going to say, it's it's a panhandling ban, if you will. It's called the Pedestrian Safety Ordinance. It explicitly permits panhandling and speech in medians as long as it's not a busy intersection, because this ordinance makes it illegal to ask drivers for money alongside busy streets. You could also be cited for giving money or even food to panhandlers. However, firefighters collecting fill the boot donations, you've seen those?
No, I haven't seen those.
Those are still allowed to be there.
Oh.
Yeah, you've never seen those firefighters and they got their fire boot or whatever? And they're like, hey, man.
That's cool.
AFD.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They can still ask for money as long as they're not blocking the sidewalk. They said it's dangerous for traffic and pedestrians to be interacting on a busy street. But man, that leaves it up to that sounds very subjective. Hey, that was busy at the time, so we're going to cite you.
Yeah.
So, best case scenario, if you're so inclined, is to pull over and walk it over to them. Do I recommend anyone do that? Probably not.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I would definitely not tell my wife, hey, honey, if you're just feeling that tug, would you just pull over into that Whole Foods parking lot and just walk it over to them alone by yourself? So safe.
So safe. Yeah.
So safe.
So safe.
But again, that's how we started this conversation. Where's that line? Because we want to be compassionate, but we want to be safe.
Well, I feel like in this situation, that's why we have organizations like Joy Junction, the Albuquerque Rescue Mission. We have wonderful, great missions out there in the city that take care of the homeless. And so if you are feeling that conviction of wanting to give, and you now know it's illegal to do, to hand somebody money that's on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Then go down to Joy Junction, go down to the Albuquerque Rescue Mission, jump online to their website and donate there, because they need you throughout the whole year, not just during Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now they need you throughout the whole year. So that's where I think you go with that. If you're feeling led to give, then give to one of the missions. And if you need help with that, we can give you details on all the ones that we support. And there's some great missions out there, man.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely. Without them, this city would look completely different.
People are chiming in left and right, man. Julian chimed in on YouTube and said, "Good morning. We have totally become desensitized. Every day, I nearly get hit by drivers who are in a hurry. I understand the city has a lot of construction going on, but it does get frustrating. However, people are in a hurry, and that hurry supersedes my safety in their mind. Yeah. We don't think about other people, especially on the road. It's just another car.
Right.
You're right. We have completely lost that, and we just kind of compartmentalize everything. So I guess the big question is, how do we regain that compassion? What can we do?"
505-585-LIVE. You can text in with your thoughts. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You can join us there. You can chime in like John and Christina, Dina, and let us know your thoughts on that.
Dude, last week we were at T-Ball, and it's off of Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a busy road, and it's, I think, 35 miles an hour. It's not It's not a, residential 25, like,
yeah.
It's like 35, 40 miles an hour, something like that. I can't remember. And at the T-ball fields, there was a mom with a baby, and all of a sudden this guy just pulls up on the other side, on the street, throws his hazards on a road where it's like 40 miles an hour, and just walks over to the fence because he was picking up the baby. And it's like, dude.
What?
You can't go pull into the parking area to get your kid. Like, and so she's like handing him over the fence. I'm not even joking. I'm watching all of this unfold last week, freaking out because somebody's going to get in an accident.
Wow.
But like, we have become so busy and just self-focused that we forget that there are human beings around us, and we care not even a little bit for safety or others. I'm just,
Yep.
But really, guys, how do we get back to that compassion? How do we get back to caring for others above ourselves as we're called to?
Right.
Being the servant of all. Like, how do we serve others when we feel like we are above them? Seriously. Because we're there.
Right. All right, we got to take a break. We're live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. If you want to chime in, the live line number, 505-585-5483. We haven't checked the voicemails in a little bit, so maybe we'll do that when we come back. Let's see, we got a couple. Top baby names. A great viral video you guys don't want to miss. We got to post this up on our Facebook page when we get a chance. An amazing, beautiful proposal was completely destroyed by a young child. We'll post that up at Star 88 FM on Facebook. We'll be right back. Hang out.
I'm Daniel, and it's time to get in the techno. You've seen the headlines in the news. Gray key lightning box can break passcode, or police use dead man's finger to unlock iPhone, and the like. Well, Apple appears to be once again taking on law enforcement in the name of privacy. Uncovered in a beta release of iOS 11.4, a new feature disables the Lightning port after a 7-day period with the phone not being accessed. This would prevent devices like the Grayshift Gray Key from breaking an iPhone's passcode once those 7 days have passed. There is both support and disdain towards Apple's stance on user privacy. Some argue we should allow law enforcement backdoor access to our personal data in the name of security. Some say that the price is too high. You know, we're blessed to live in a country where we have religious liberty and freedom. But not all of our brothers and sisters in Christ are as privileged and face persecution from their governments. If one day the tide turns in the U.S., you may end up being grateful for that privacy. I'm Daniel, and now you're in the techno on Star 88.
Tony Evans. This is a Star 88 Supernova.
Christ is the head of every man. The man is the head of a woman, and God is the head of Christ. Okay, let me read that again. Christ is the head of every man, and the man is the head of a woman, not all women, and God is the head of Christ. Okay, so that did not come from me. So if you're going to get mad at God. He wrote it. God says in the order of things, everybody is supposed to be covered by somebody else. Covering, or what he calls headship, the head of. And of course, the concept of head is taken from the body. The job of the head is to give direction and leadership to whatever it is leading.
That was Pastor Tony Evans on a Star 88 Supernova. This is Star 88 at 88.3 FM, KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and online at star88.fm.
Room to wonder, open road, my marker, cruise control, strobing headlights, passing cars, constellations, shooting stars. Street lights are bleeding with the pale moonlight. Fire on the highway. Music on the airwaves. Head out the window, gonna feel the cold night. I'ma keep turning for the rest of my life.
The Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
When I was just a little boy, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. It ain't none of those things that matter. It ain't none of those things at all. You gotta hold on to what you've been given. You gotta promise that you'll hold it down. Don't feel like such a brave. Hope is beyond another day. Fight for what you love. And fight where you belong. When I grew up, I was on my own. Skies in a bitter hole. Another crisis, the world in the world covered in gold. It ain't none of those things that matter. It ain't none of those things at all. You gotta hold on to what you've been given. You gotta promise that you'll hold it down. Don't feel like such a brave. Hope is beyond another day. Fight for what you love. And fight where you belong. Don't feel like such a brave. Hope is beyond another day. Fight for what you love. And fight where you belong. It's time to take what I've learned and push myself to the side, passing along the right kind of pride. The other day, my son, he asked me, will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I said, it ain't none of those things that matter. It ain't none of those things, yeah. Don't feel like such a brave. Hope is beyond another day. Fight for what you love. And fight where you
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
Yeah, it's us. Good morning.
I'm Steve-O.
I am Dex. Some people call me Dexter. Dextrous.
Yeah.
Dextron. Dexy. Dexosaurus Rex. Some even call me Joe, or Joey, or Joseph, or Josephina, or Joe Bear. Welcome to the show. Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Coming up, Pastor Greg Laurie going to be joining us about 7:30ish. Talk about Harvest America. And we'll also give you some of the details about us going out to AT&T Stadium. We're going to be broadcasting live out there. Hey, don't forget, Levi Lusko's going to be in town this weekend.
Dude, I can't wait to hang with that guy.
Yeah.
He's so great. This is a perfect opportunity. Maybe you're like one of those fringe dudes who's not necessarily like a churchgoer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you've got that family where it's just like, nah, man, it ain't me. He's so accessible.
Yeah.
He's such an incredible dude.
He'll be teaching all weekend.
It'd be a good opportunity to kick open that door, come visit, chill, because I promise you, he's gonna throw down, and then maybe you'll get to see like, this is a dope place. James and I went to service this weekend, and he was just marveling at how like warm and cool and like friendly, like everyone is here.
Yeah,
but
come as you are, man. Come as you are.
genuinely, not like freaky cultish. Like, oh yes, hello. Oh, what is your name?
Yes.
It's dope here, man. The culture here is pretty legit. So
yeah, just come as you are. You don't have to dress up. You just come and hang out. There's so many services. CalvaryABQ.org. You guys can get all the details. And, yeah, Levi Lusko in town teaching all weekend. So you can pick a Saturday service. You can pick, whichever one on Sunday. We got 3 services on Sunday. It's going to be beautiful, guys. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Also coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about this craziness, this Yanni or Laurel conversation.
I don't know if I can do this conversation, man. I'm not gonna.
I'm just curious to see if somebody hears something different than we heard.
Yeah, you and I hear the same word.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what it is because I don't even want to.
This is
people.
much like the dress, the conversation about what color the dress was. Now this is the audio version of it. Do you hear when you play the clip? Do you hear Yanni or Laurel?
I didn't even get that. Like when I got home last night, Christy said, "I want you to listen to something. I need you to tell me what it says." And I was like, "Okay." And she played me the audio clip. Didn't say like, "Listen for this word or that word." And I'm like,
"Okay."
I heard this, and it was like, "Okay, right." And so
maybe we'll set that up in the 8 o'clock hour that way. We won't tell anybody. We'll just play it and see what people hear. Because apparently, if you hear one of those, you're an idiot. Yeah, well, I mean, it could be pretty accurate.
As we talk about having compassion for others. But it's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Did you want to talk about this Joyce Meyer tattoo thing?
I do. I definitely do. But I almost want to, like, going back to
we wanted to go back to talk about the last conversation.
We were talking about the fact that we've lost compassion for humanity, right? And I mentioned that Albuquerque approved this panhandling ban, and listeners were like freaking out. Like there were members of the Starmy who'd never heard this. I guess they don't listen to us regularly because we talked about it the day it passed. However, there's a pedestrian safety ordinance that went into effect last year that you could be cited if you give food, money, whatever to a panhandler, a homeless person on a busy street. You cannot do that. It's for pedestrian safety. It's for driver safety. And I mentioned the idea that if my wife saw somebody, probably not the safest thing to like go park in like the Whole Foods parking lot and walk over and give them something.
Yeah.
I would not feel comfortable with that. And somebody took great exception to that. Said, listen, man, I take issue with your statement, Steve-O. The Lord does not call us to help people out when it's safe and convenient for us. If he's tugging on your heart, you have to have trust and faith in him and be compassionate. The Lord didn't tell his disciples to go out and preach the gospel, but if it's unsafe, then you don't have to do it. He asked them to give their lives to him, and all of them did. And it brings up a good question because I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, but the more I thought about it, I was like, that's my wife, man. Cool. I hear you. But I do think, I think there's this weird, we talk about having no compassion for people, but then sometimes we talk about the flip side of that, where we're so naive that we're taken advantage of, and we're still called to be good stewards, right? So where is that balance, or is there a balance? Should we just be reckless?
Yeah.
Now, I think the counter would be like, well, if God's tugging at your heart, then that's not reckless, because then if God guides, God provides.
Yeah, that's good.
But sometimes how overzealous are we, and find ourselves in some pretty terrible situations because we believed in that moment. Like,
that's true.
So I just want to talk about it. I'm not saying one way or the other.
That's where that line is at, because we know people in our lives that truly believed that God was telling them to do something,
right?
Only to find out that wasn't the case.
Maybe it was just a bad burger. They had indigestion.
Right. I got a feeling, guys. I got this. It's
overwhelming
overwhelming feeling in my gut.
Got this feeling.
Oh,
deep in my soul.
That's right. Yeah, chime in on that, Starmy. In that situation, I mean, I think that's what all of us struggle with is, okay, is God...
Is there a line?
Is God telling me to do this? I mean, and that's, I guess, as you grow closer to God, as you have that relationship with God, you become more sensitive to that, right? And you're able to understand whether or not, if it's God really tugging on your heart, that conviction, or if it's, I don't know, maybe it's just this feeling you got. But again, I go back to, why can't you go and support the Rescue Mission or Joy Junction or an organization, or how about tithing? That's what's amazing about churches all around this area is when you tithe, it's not just going to, build the church up,
right?
The building up. I mean, some of it does, to build it up, but a lot of the money goes out back into the city, back into mission trips, back into supporting families, getting them back on their feet, getting them groceries, fixing their cars. There's so many great things that just Calvary alone,
dude, feeding the Mexico kids here
right?
at Calvary. Like we teamed up with them, and there are almost 4,000 homeless students in APS that go hungry.
Right.
On evenings, on weekends, and now it's about to be summertime, and they don't have meals. And so there are so many ways we can do that. But I think the point that the Star member was trying to make is, in particular situations, if you feel that God is calling you to do it, safety be darned, like you don't have regard for that. What you regard is God's calling.
Yeah.
And so should there be a balance? Should there be a line, or do we just recklessly pursue that? And I don't mean to use the word recklessly like as a naive or maybe I just need to find a better word for it, because I think sometimes when we think of the word reckless, it's like foolish, it's overzealous, it's whatever. But I don't mean that. I just mean, should we overwhelmingly pursue God's voice so much that it doesn't even matter?
Right.
So
we had a friend years ago. Remember he would pick up hitchhikers on the side of the road?
Yeah.
And remember when he almost
Hurricane
got stabbed?
Shane. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. He picked up a homeless guy, and he was mentally unstable, and he ended up pulling a knife and trying to stab Shane. And Shane his heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, is that line? Like,
well, because it didn't deter him from continuing to pick up homeless dudes.
It didn't. No,
and we were all
true.
like, bro,
yeah, come on, bro. What are you doing, bro?
Because he would call us. Oh my gosh, he would call us on the radio. He would seriously call us on the radio and be like, "Hey man, I need you to pray for this guy. I just picked him up. He's on his way to like San Antonio, Texas, and I'm just gonna drive him." And when we're like, "Dude," and that's what the Lord called him to do.
Yeah. Somebody said on Facebook, one thing is to be willing to sacrifice yourself for God. Another, having a death wish. No. See, that's so hard, because we hear those stories in the Bible. That they could Jonah. You think of all of these people that God called, and they weren't down. Moses, he wasn't down. God called these people to go out and do those incredible
Right,
things, and they were
right.
like, no, no. Are you kidding me?
Dude, I seriously think that's why we have here at Star 88 Mission, New Mexico. Because, like, let's be real. Sometimes, like, left to just us, we're not going to take care of everything.
Yeah.
So we partner up with these ministries that are already doing those things, and then local businesses who come alongside who support that, so that the people that God has called to do those things are doing those things, and they're getting the support they need. I'm telling you guys. Not to boast on our ministry, but like I truly believe that we are changing lives in this community because of things like Mission New Mexico.
Right.
Because you're working in your strengths. And I think sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes we believe like way outside of the realm of our strengths or what God has called us to. It's like, but I'm so passionate about this right now. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
And that may not even be where God has you. Like, I remember when Shane, our friend Shane, started talking about how he would pick up homeless people and hitchhikers no matter what. And he would take them all these places. It's like, dude, that's not safe. And he's like, you just got to have faith and trust. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then there was this one time I saw somebody wandering the street, and I was like, oh no. And I didn't want to. And she came up to my window and she started knocking on my window. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. And I like rolled my window down, and she was like, I need a ride home.
Oh my gosh.
I kid you not. And I was like, okay. And I was like trying to like wait for like my spidey sense, right? For like the discernment to kick in and be like, how stupid would this be to allow this woman in my car to give her a ride home? And then Shane was popping in and everything's popping in. And I was just like, all right, I better call my wife.
Can you hold on a second? I need to make a phone call.
I'm sorry, I got to call my wife because I don't want a strange lady in my car without her approval. I'm going to roll the window up so it's not awkward.
Is that what happened? Seriously, what happened?
I'm not even joking, dude, because I overthink everything.
He does.
And I ended up giving her a ride home, and I was actually able to talk with her and her daughter and pray with them.
No kidding.
And like, yeah, and it was like a great situation. And then it was like, hey, don't ever do that again, you dumb. Because it was so dangerous. I ended up, I don't even want to say where I ended up, but it was just like, I was terrified the whole time, guys. I'm not even going to lie.
Wow, man.
Somebody says there is no reason to walk into danger without needing to. We're in a very different time from the Bible. We can't apply this to every single situation. But do you just me?
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well,
we're in a
that's
very
why
different time.
That's why we're talking about it. Starmy, what do you think?
I don't know, man.
Is there a line?
Why?
Or do we just recklessly help others because that's what we're called to do? Like, I'm called to be the servant of all. I'm just going to pursue that, and I'm going to show them the love of Christ, and no matter what.
How is it different? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Why is it different now than it was, thousands of years ago?
Because
there were still homeless people.
AR-15s, man, and motorcycles.
Okay, well, they had knives and swords and other weapons that could kill people. So I'm sure they felt the same way about, not wanting to or feeling the way we do. Maybe scared or fearful that, they might rob you. Same thing.
See, somebody says, but what also stinks is how you feel if you don't do what God tells you. Afterward, when the moment is gone, you just feel sick and regretful. I've had those moments too, where it's like, I think I should pray for this person.
Mm-hmm.
I think I should talk to this person. And then I get like stage fright and nervous, and I like takes over, and I start overthinking everything, and then they just kind of walk off. And then I'm like, and then it consumes me. Like, was I supposed to talk to that person? Oh man, I don't know.
Right.
So
505-585-LIVE. You can text into the show. Also, phone lines are open at 505-338-3700. And we're on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You guys can go there. Let's see. One thing is to be willing to sacrifice. Okay, I already read that one. Thebe said, anyone know the day or hour they are appointed to die? No.
Well, no man does.
No man.
That's what they're saying. Okay.
No man
Thanks,
does.
Thebes.
Yes.
But here's the thing. So Thebes, he's a father. He's got a bunch of daughters. He's got a wife. And would it be a thing where we put our family in kind of uncomfortable situations regardless because in that moment, we might think, hey, I think God's telling us we need to do this right now. And it's scary and dangerous, but he'll provide. And what happens if it goes awry? You know what I mean? I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I'm not necessarily here to give that answer. I want to know, Starmy, what you think. Is there a line, or do we just pursue that?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's Birga.
Hey, Birga.
What's up, Birga?
Oh, this is perfect.
How are you?
Perfect.
Well, I had to chime in for a quick second. I will tell you my view on helping the broken has changed pretty radically over the last 2 years. And I will say from everything that I have been learning that culture has changed dramatically since, biblical times. And we, as an American culture, have kind of gotten really off track with how we have decided to assist people. And the way that sorry, I'm driving and went through a bumpy patch. The way that we enacted charitable help means, 50, 60, 70 years ago, and maybe when it was a really good idea back then, now, all these generations later, when we've had generation after generation growing up in poverty, it's completely shifted the way people think, the way that they perceive charity, the way that they both want to receive and give it. And so I think we do have to be very cautious, very aware, and very savvy in how we're using our time and our resources to give to other people. And I'll give you a really fast story. I'm very emotionally moved by people in tears, people in distress, and of course, our heart wants to give, we want to pour out, we want to make sure that they have what they need. And I had this woman and 2 young kids walk into the lobby, and she was just in tears and telling me she was being evicted. And I spent the next 2 hours on the phone with every agency I could get on the phone with. I'm trying to find any type of rental assistance. I'm trying to find her emergency shelter. I dropped everything I was doing and invested all this time in this woman trying to get her the help that I thought she needed. Well, I come to find out after the fact that her husband had been pursuing for quite some time his own endeavor. He was a philanthropist, and he had several tried and failed business opportunities and was off doing all these things rather than looking for employment that would help sustain his family. And at the end of the day, the lesson from that story was I was moved by the tears, and I wanted to help, and I see the kids, and I want them to be safe. And, of course, those are right motivations. But had I jumped in and provided the $500 or the $600 or the whatever was necessary to make the rent payment, it would have given license for another month for the husband to not do his duty as a husband to provide for his wife and his children.
Right.
And so, there's always two sides to these stories, and we have to be aware. These emergency situations rarely come up just in the blink of an eye where, oh, I didn't know rent was due, or, oh, I didn't know this was coming. These traumas that people present as, you need to fix this problem for me now. Yeah. Likely there's been months in a row of, poor management of resources. They knew things were coming. They didn't deal with it. And so all of a sudden their emergency is put in front of us. And our move for compassion and our motivation to be Christ-like and help them, we want to jump in. But I have learned the hard way a couple times over that our quickness to jump in and save the day is often more about making us feel good than actually helping to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Dang, Birga.
That's good, Birga.
Birga from Love Inc.
That's real. That's another organization you guys can, if you feel led to give to Love Inc. because you guys do some incredible things.
Thank you. Yeah. If you want to give time, if you guys are off for the summer, want some help, or want to help us move some furniture around, I always need the physical help. So this is a great time for high school and college-age kids. We need you.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, Birga. Thanks for chiming in.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
A lot of people chiming in. We'd love to hear from you.
Both sides, man. Both sides.
Read a couple.
Somebody said, but why do we celebrate the missionary family that went to the cannibals but said it was too dangerous? The dad goes, the dad dies. The mom goes again against the people's safety advice, and the whole tribe comes to Christ. It was too dangerous. The dude got killed, and she went back with her kids. Wow. And God moved in awesome ways. But this is too dangerous, and it's foolish. Nope. We do what God calls us to do.
The outcome isn't always what we want it to be.
Rochelle says, I think the problem here is that we're trying to put a formulaic answer on something that is up to the discernment from God. Up to discernment from God. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. We're live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. When we come back, we have Pastor Greg Laurie on the show next.
Levi Lesko from Fresh Life Church in Montana will be at the pulpit of Calvary Church Albuquerque the weekend of May 19th.
Listen, they say God has his ways. God has his ways, but you do too. The Lord's ways may not be our ways, but he is not the only one with ways. Our ways are how we choose to react. Our ways are the way we choose to speak. Our ways are when we choose to insert ourselves and when we choose not to, when we accept and when we decline. You have your ways, I have mine. I'm trying to caution you. The ways you let in become the ways you are set. Now, sometimes people speak derogatorily about going through the motions. I was just going through the motions, kind of phoning it in, not putting your heart into it. Let me just tell you something. Going through the motions is only a problem if you're going through the wrong motions. Getting stuck in your ways can either be the worst thing or the best thing. Getting stuck in your ways is a good thing if you get stuck in the right way.
Levi Lesko, Saturday and Sunday, May 19th and 20th at Calvary Church Albuquerque.
A solar flare with Matt Chandler. The universe shudders in horror that we have this infinitely valuable, infinitely deep, infinitely rich, infinitely wise, infinitely loving God. And instead of pursuing him with steadfast passion and enthralled fury, instead of loving him with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, instead of attributing to him glory and honor and praise and power and wisdom and strength, we just try to take his toys and run. It is still idolatry to want God for his benefits, but not for himself. That's a solar flare on Star 88.
breaking my heart. I know we debated, but it's over, love. That's all for us. Well, maybe we can work it out. I know what you're doing when you're falling apart. I know how you're feeling when you're breaking my heart. I know we debated, but it's over, love. That's all for us. Well, maybe we can work it out. I know, I know. I know, I know. I know, I know. I know we can work it out. I know, I know. I know, I know. I know, I know. I know we can work it out. I know why you're feeling at 1,000 degrees. I know you'd like to take one last shot at me. I know we've debated, but it's over, love. That's all for us. Now why you wanna swing at me? I know why you're feeling at 1,000 degrees. I know you'd like to take one last shot at me. I know we've debated, but it's over, love. That's all for us. Now why you wanna swing at me? I know, I know. I know, I know. I know, I know. I know we can work it out. I know, I know. I know, I know. I know, I know. I know we can work it out.
Now, a Stardy 8 PowerPoint. Here's Francis Chan.
Every breath is a gift from him. Like he didn't promise me one more. He had to give that to me. There's a being in heaven right now surrounded by 100 million angels, and he determines whether or not I live through this message. Man, he determines whether or not you live through this message and whether you ever walk out of this arena. It's all up to him. That's why these angels are saying we wouldn't even be alive. Even the angels are dependent on him. 1 Timothy says that he alone is immortal. That means all life comes from him. So there's this one being on the throne that's made all of us. And we're breathing right now because he lets us. And all those angels that are worshiping him right now, every breath comes from him. And they're praising him because they recognize we wouldn't even be here without him.
That was Francis Chan on Stardy 8 with a PowerPoint.
Hey, what's going on in the news today?
Uber reverses a controversial policy on the way sexual assault or harassment claims are handled.
If you got into an Uber, it meant you'd agreed to arbitration, not court, if you had a legal issue with the company, unless you'd opted out within a specific time frame. That went for employees as well. Well, now Uber says that's over. If you have a claim, you can take it to court.
Writer Tom Wolfe, often seen in his trademark white suit, best known for Bonfire of the Vanities, made into a 1990 film starring Bruce Willis and Tom Hanks.
You want to build a road or a hospital, and you need a lot of money?
Also known for The Right Stuff, adapted from his book immortalizing America's first astronauts and Chuck Yeager, the pilot who broke the sound barrier.
Some kind of war hero.
His agent said he died after an infection.
Some cafeteria workers are told to not give a child a hot meal if records show their parents are behind on lunch money payments.
Robinson Cano, the Seattle Mariners' all-star second baseman, is suspended for 80 games over a drug violation.
Facebook details how it finds content which violates its standards and how many flagged posts were recently purged from the site. Reps say in the first quarter of this year, the social network disabled more than 580 million fake accounts and took down over 830 million pieces of spam.
Pastor Greg Laurie joining us on the Morning Invasion.
Steve-O and Dex, it's great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Man, we are so looking forward to hanging out again because, we talked a little bit before we jumped on about last year we were heavily involved in Harvest America, and we had such a great time.
In Phoenix, University Stadium. It was amazing. And then again, for Harvest Crusade out in Anaheim, getting to see that, I have to jump in. I have an immediate question because lifetime Angels fan, getting to be out there, seeing everything that's going on at Angels Stadium. This year, AT&T Stadium, like 150,000 capacity, right? Crazy. So what is it like standing at the pulpit at a stadium like that and seeing a sea of people just filled there for the gospel, and maybe even they're thinking they're just going to get a concert out of it, not even knowing what they're in for. But what's that feeling like for you standing there?
Well, it's a few things simultaneously. Number one, it's a lot of pressure because I remember when I went out to speak a couple of years ago at AT&T Stadium, I felt under incredible pressure. I had to really pray, Lord, help me. I don't usually get nervous before I speak, but I got really nervous right before I went out. Once I got up to speak, I was fine. So there's a lot of pressure. I think it's a real spiritual battle when you're presenting the gospel to people, and the enemy is attacking. So that's number one. Number two, as far as what it's actually like, it's like sort of preaching to a wall really far away.
Yeah.
I can't really see anybody. I can't see anybody's faces. I can barely hear them. So if they laugh, it's just sort of a sound that doesn't even sound like laughter in a way. It's weird. And so I just kind of press on. I just remember people are watching me. I kind of make eye contact with the camera because by looking at the camera, I'm effectively looking at the people, because in the stadium there are these massive HD screens, where you're looking at the people through them. So it's a strange experience to have, but the effect of it, what you can accomplish, is really wonderful. So I just get up there, I hit my mark, I'm focused, and off I go. And then on top of all that, I try to make it kind of like a conversation, where I'm talking to them, sharing with them, keeping it real, kind of down to earth, not get all preachery on them,
right?
But yet not compromise on my message at all.
Yeah.
There was a recent poll that said 51% of churchgoers did not know what the Great Commission is. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that speaks to a lack of really teaching the whole counsel of God on the part of pastors. That's why I'm so thankful for Pastor Skip. We've been friends for so many years. And by the way, Skip is the only pastor I know that knows more about the Beatles than I do. And I know a lot about the Beatles. I mean, he's on another level of Beatleness that I can't even believe. But anyway, but Skip and I have known each other for so long, and he's such a great guy. And I know you guys know all about the Great Commission. I know you practice it. And, but there's just a lot of churches where this isn't happening. Pastors are not teaching the Word of God like Skip is. They're not proclaiming the gospel. They're not challenging their people to fulfill the Great Commission. And so it's sad. And it's a deficiency in the church today. And really, I think that preaching the gospel is important, not only for non-believers, but it's important for us.
Yeah.
Because, God did not bless us so we could hoard it. We're blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah.
The gospel should not be kept to us. We should not keep it to ourselves. That's what I meant to say. We need to be sharing it with others. And Jesus even said, given it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. With the same measure you give, it will be given to you. And I think when we don't share our faith, we can actually spiritually stagnate.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great thing to take advantage of this event and utilize it. And of course, this year, Harvest America, as before, is nationwide. And you can go to our website, harvestamerica.com. There's downloadable social media graphics, and you can get the word out through your social media platforms. Someone asked me the other day, or they cited a poll that said that more people are comfortable with texting than talking. And they said, so what do you say to a person like that? My response was, my response is go into all the world and text the gospel.
Right.
Go into all the world and tweet the gospel. Use your social media platform, but to get the word of God out. But I would say also for you folks there in New Mexico, pray about coming and joining us because, guys, I need thousands of volunteers to help me get this job done. 85,000 people fit into AT&T Stadium, and we even had overflow last year. So I need lots of ushers, counselors, people helping. So I'm asking for all the listeners to prayerfully consider coming with us to Texas, like a short-term missions trip.
Yeah.
And be with us on June 10th. It's a cool state. And man, to be in an event like this in person is really incredible. So to find out more about being a part of Harvest America, just go to our website. It's serve.harvestamerica.com. Again, serve.harvestamerica.com.
Dex and I getting to be in Phoenix last year and then getting to be at Angel Stadium for Harvest Crusade as well, to see that and to see just a sea of people coming forward and giving their life to Jesus. It never gets old. I mean, you've been doing this a very long time. Talk about that feeling when you do when you do present the gospel, when you do throw down and the altar call is coming. Talk about what that is like when you see the response of people responding to Jesus Christ.
I was with I was with Billy Graham years ago, and I asked him actually, Billy, what do you experience physically when you're standing on the stage inviting people to Christ? Because I've been with him for so many of his crusades over the years, and I'd stand there and watch him, and I wonder, what's it like for him? And he said, I feel like power is going out of me. And that's interesting because remember when that woman who had the medical condition touched Jesus, and the Lord said, I feel as though power has gone out of me. And it just reminds us that this is a spiritual battle. This is not a playground, it's a battleground. And so when the evangelist gets up and gives the invitation and calls people to Christ, it's an intense spiritual battle. That's why believers need to really be praying when that invitation is extended, because this is a life and death decision that folks are making. So that's why I really need people's prayer as I preach at these events. You know, my little granddaughter Allie has been praying for Harvest America. We've asked everyone to set their smartphones to 3:20, and when the alarm goes off, you just pray for Harvest America. So I'm asking everybody to remember to pray for this event, and it would be a great thing if you would all set your smartphones to 3:20 and just pray for this event.
Yes, absolutely. And Harvest Crusade obviously has a huge history in California. We talked about Harvest Crusade being at Angel Stadium, but Harvest America, I mean, we're talking about a massive step of faith. When you guys started to decide you wanted to go out to the nation, how did you make that leap of faith? What was the vision like, deciding to step out of the OC and take this to America?
Yeah, well, we've been going to the nation now for years. You know, we've had Harvest Crusades all across the country. We've been down south. We've been in North Carolina. We've been in, oh my goodness, so many places. We've been in Georgia. We've been to Philadelphia. We did one in New York City at Madison Square Garden. We've been all up and down the coast of California. And we've been overseas. We've gone to New Zealand. We've gone to Australia. So we've actually been doing them all around the country and even abroad for many years now. But Harvest America is different because we're sort of using all media platforms simultaneously to get the gospel out. So it's almost as though I'm coming and doing a crusade in your guys' backyard. Like I'm going to be in Albuquerque and I'm going to be in Philadelphia, and I'm going to be in Texas, because you can pull the signal down and watch it live as it happens. And as we extend the invitation at the stadium, I'm in effect extending that same invitation wherever folks are. But, you know, I have to say to you, it was a huge step of faith to go to the stadium, because I went to Texas at the American Airlines Center that seats around 17,000 people. It was a great event. We filled it to overflow. And then we went from a 17,000 seat venue to an 85,000 seat venue. That was a huge turbo leap forward. We could have failed very easily, and we bet the farm on it. We put it all on the line, and we asked people to pray. And I even had a friend of mine who's a pastor call me up, and right before it happened, he goes, "Well, how's it going?" I said, "Well, we're praying and trusting the Lord's going to work." And he said, "Well, buddy, listen, if no matter how many show up, just preach the gospel." It's like he was already preparing for it to be a flop. And I have to tell you, that was not an encouraging phone call.
Yeah.
But, you know, we just kept praying and planning and doing, you know, we left no stone unturned, and we tried to get the word out to as many people as possible. So when I was in the stadium and, you know, a good 45 minutes before it was even ready to start, they told me, "We've already filled it." Well, I have to say, I could hardly believe it. But, you know, walking by faith is risky. But faith sees invisible things. Faith sees what can be. And there is a risk in faith. But it's a glorious thing when you take that bold step of faith and you see the Lord honoring it. And once again, to go back to this massive venue is a huge step of faith.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know as we draw closer to it, not only are you using every single social media outlet, every way possible to get the word of God out there, but the listener can do the same thing. How can we get involved? How can we get the listener involved too? Whether it's share on their social media, or as you mentioned, serve.harvestamerica.com. What ways can they get involved to make sure that as many people as possible hear the gospel of Jesus Christ?
Thanks for asking that. Well, the best thing to do is go to our website, harvestamerica.com. That's sort of like the main place to go for everything. There's a video that explains the event to you. There are downloadable social media graphics that you can post on your various media platforms. And it even tells you how to become a host site. Now, that could be being a host site in a church, being a host site in a theater. You might rent. A lot of people rented theaters and showed the event. Great place to, by the way. I've heard of people who've like set screens up in the middle of a field. And of course, many folks do it in their front room. We have sort of a Harvest America party at your house. It's sort of like the Super Bowl of evangelism. On Super Bowl Sunday, people gather around their TVs and watch the game, and they might have a party before and afterwards. It's something we do as a country on the same day at the same time. Harvest America is the same thing. We all can participate in real time wherever we are. So, have a barbecue, have some burgers, invite people over from your neighborhood, and then fire up the TV and watch it together. And then as I invite people to Christ at AT&T Stadium, you can invite them to Christ right where you are. So, just take advantage of it, because this is, a nationwide thing, but it's also a very personal thing. You could send a link to someone and say, watch this event and let's talk about it later. You could watch it on a phone. You can watch it on a tablet device, a computer, of course. So all those platforms, we're using all of them. But the main thing is just on June 10th, let's get the word out to everyone we know to participate in Harvest America in some way, shape, or form.
Pastor Greg Laurie, we look forward to seeing you in Dallas at AT&T Stadium. We'll be praying for you.
Yeah,
our listeners will be praying for you. And thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Steve-O and Dex, thanks for having me on again, and I look forward to seeing you guys. God bless you.
God bless you too,
we'll
man.
See you.
All right.
Pastor Greg Laurie, everybody.
Love that dude.
It almost sounds like he's got a robot stuck in his voice.
It's technology, man.
Yeah, man.
I cannot wait. We are going to be doing the Morning Invasion live from AT&T Stadium.
Ow! Where the Dallas Cowboys play?
Woo!
No bigs. No bigs, man. No bigs at all.
Going to be out there teaching Jason Witten some things as he prepares to take on Monday Night Football, just to let him know how to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
I seriously cannot wait. We really are. We're doing the Morning Invasion live from AT&T Stadium Friday morning. And then we're also going to be rocking Harvest America. You can find all the details, harvestamerica.com. And I'll tell you right now, not a bad road trip. Maybe you want to join us.
As far as Dallas from here?
10 hours?
Okay.
It's not bad.
I mean,
we had people join us when we did Harvest America from Phoenix last year.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad drive. And, dude, this year is going to be crazy. You can serve at the event, as he said, harvestamerica.com. You can click on the link. But, dude, Greg's throwing down the gospel as per usual, and it's always amazing. We got Chris Tomlin out there. We got Switchfoot, Phil Wickham, and I know this is crazy, but personally, Crowder for me. Like, I can't wait.
Crowder?
Yeah, man. Crowder's going to be so dope, dude. Are you kidding me? I love that dude. I love watching that dude. So...
Well, I know one of the questions I know you wanted to ask, we didn't get a chance to, was about Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, dude. Well, we're talking evangelism, and we're talking about the way that we share Christ with others. And it was just obviously an event like Harvest America is different in that is its entire purpose is to explicitly share the gospel, right? Like it is Greg throwing down with Scripture in an amazing way to bring people to Jesus Christ. But I think sometimes we forget that it's not always explicitly or exclusively, I should say, that. As a Christian, everything that we do truly should point to Jesus. Should. I'm not saying it does. I'm saying it should. And I was reading this article, and it really challenged me because Shia LaBeouf, who kind of crazy,
Transformers star,
Holes
was great.
Remember Holes?
Yeah, that was one of his first movies.
Yeah, Shia. He talked about the fact that he found God, or saw God, I should say, through a fellow actor with Down syndrome.
Wow.
So what happened was, Shia sat down with Esquire magazine and talked about, man, his struggles with alcohol. He talked about his crazy meltdowns. I mean, he was out here, remember, doing his
he put that camera up down on Central.
Yeah, crazy. arrests. Just when you think of Shia, I'm sure you could think of the one of 100 different crazy, idiotic things that he's done, which is kind of unfortunate because he's had some pretty fantastic shining moments on film. He really has. I'm not talking about Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
I'm not talking about Transformers.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
No.
So good.
Anyways, while he was shooting the film The Peanut Butter Falcon, which stars Zachary Gottsagen, who's an actor with Down syndrome, who the movie was written for, by the way, he was arrested for being drunk and disorderly in public. So he's at the police station, and he was filmed at the police station, intoxicated, saying super racist remarks to the police officers, insulting them. And this is while this film is going on. He has since apologized, by the way. He said he was mortified when he saw the video footage of him that drunk saying what he was saying. Yeah. But when his co-star, the actor with Down syndrome, found out about the arrest, he straight up confronted Shia LaBeouf. This kid is not a famous actor. He's not well known.
Yeah.
Shia is still Shia LaBeouf. But he confronted him and he said, dude, you're already famous. This is my chance, and you are ruining it.
Wow. Good for him.
You are ruining my chance.
Good for him.
Shia said to hear him say that he was disappointed in me probably changed the course of my life. Zach can't not shoot straight, and bless him for it, because in that moment, I needed a straight shooter who I couldn't argue with. He said their conversation continued further on set. They were getting ready to do a scene, and Zach looked at him in the eye and said, do you believe in God?
Wow.
And he said, I thought to myself, no bleeping way are you about to explain God to me. He said he tried to keep it together. Dude, his voice like, Zach looked at him and said, even if God's not real, what does it hurt?
Mm.
He said, in that moment, I don't believe in God, but in that moment, it changed the way he thought about God. He said, did I see God? Did I hear God through Zach? Yeah. He met me with love. And at the time, love was truth. He didn't pull punches. And I'm grateful. Not even on some cheeseball junk trying to sell a movie. In real life, that dude is magical. He talked about the fact that this guy was real.
Yeah.
And just confronted him, was like, you're living like an idiot. You're acting foul. You don't have to live like that. This actor loves Jesus, and he's still very raw, very real, very truthful. And in that moment, it caused him to like second guess everything, because he just simply said like, hey man, even if God's not real, like what does it hurt? What does it hurt to live better?
Right.
And I think a lot of times we forget that we as Christians have this great responsibility where everybody's looking at our actions all the time. And maybe you've got that friend in your life that you're just like, you're not good with confrontation, And so you've never really asked them why they're living a certain way or what it is about their lifestyle that they just love so greatly, because you see the destruction and the torment and just the stupidity of it. And man, reading that, it was like, I loved the approach of that kid.
Yeah. No, that was beautiful.
Because it didn't matter. As we talk, it's funny because it seems like the shows are becoming pretty thematic throughout the morning. Today we've been talking really about identity and the idea of being bold in situations regardless, and the fact that he didn't put Shia LaBeouf in a famous actor box, right? He didn't compartmentalize that and say like, oh, well, this guy is... He just looked at him as a human being and as a soul.
He called
and
him
was
out.
like, hey, bro, you can live differently.
Yeah.
Like, you can live better than this.
Right.
And you're messing it up for everybody else.
Yeah.
I loved that, man.
That's cool how God used Zach in that moment. It's pretty cool, man. Yeah, and so far, I mean, is Shia, he's been on a pretty good road, right? Since
Better
then, right?
road. Yeah. And it's a good reminder to continue to pray for that dude.
Yeah, right?
Seriously. You never know what God's going to use in just a day-to-day conversation with someone that could be the catalyst, the seed that is planted that if watered well, man, I'm telling you, you never know. You be that today. You be Zach today, bro.
I'm going to be Zach today. All right, we got to take a break. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live. Good morning, everybody. You can join us right there every day on YouTube and Facebook. Just search Star 88. We're live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. When we come back, we're going to talk about, I don't want to spoil it because I just want to play the audio and I want to see what everybody else hears. So we're going to play some audio when we come back. You're going to tell us what you guys hear, and then we'll discuss what it's all about. Next, hang on.
Star 88 thanks Cello Grill for being a power partner. Cello Grill features Mediterranean cuisine like veggies, chicken, beef, and lamb kebabs, and gyros. They have salads, stew, Persian rice, and baklava. Online ordering and full menu are available online at cellogrill.com. Cello Grill is located at 5010 Cutler Avenue, Suite A on San Mateo and Cutler, near I-40. Thank you, Cello Grill, for supporting Star 88.
Paradise Village, serving Albuquerque since 1983 and providing customers with home and car audio systems, home theater, security systems, and much more. Paradise Village is not interested in finding customers, but rather creating relationships. Located at 4205 San Mateo Northeast in Albuquerque, or online at paradisevillage.nm.com. Paradise Village, 505-881-6375. That's 505-881-6375. Star 88 thanks Paradise Village for their financial support.
I'm Heidi, and here's what's happening. Celebrate our nation's independence at Freedom Celebration at Isotopes Park on Friday and Saturday, June 29th and 30th. This is a free event, and it's open to everyone, with fireworks on both nights, live music from artists like 10th Avenue North, Matt Maher, Sarah Reeves, and Trip Lee. There will be fun for the whole family with inflatable bounce houses, face painting, and much more. An evangelistic gospel message from Pastor Skip Heitzig will also be featured each night. Doors open at 5 p.m. with the event kicking off at 7 p.m. Summer is almost here. School is ending, and more things are happening in our community. Do you know of any free summer activities coming up, like a VBS? If you do, let us know. We'll talk about them on the air and feature it on our website. All you have to do is send us the details to the wire at star88.fm. For more information about events happening in your community and so much more, visit star88.fm. For what's happening, I'm Heidi, and this is Star 88.
This is Star 88 at 88.3 FM. KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and online at star88.fm.
I used to wonder if I ever could be loved. Never gonna live up. Should I give up? Will I ever be enough? What I didn't understand is you love me as I am. Nah. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. You're the only one that knows. No, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. How can I be silent when there's all this joy inside my heart? How can I be quiet when you gave me light to pierce the dark? How can I be silent
Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
Good morning. Dex and Steve-O. Morning Invasion. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. What's today?
It is Wednesday, my dude.
Thank you, Brody. TMI being brought to you by Preston Hart. Screen printing, live printing, graphic design. PrestonHart.com. Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. You guys can chime in. And we definitely need you guys to chime in on this next little topic. So, I need you guys to do whatever you're doing. Just stop. Just listen in. We're going to need your help with this. 505-585-LIVE. You can text in. You can also call in at 505-338-3700. And we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Star 88. All right, I'm going to play something. Now, you guys need to text in, call in, Facebook, YouTube us. What you guys hear. What word do you hear?
Laurel. Laurel.
Okay, what'd you hear? I'm playing it
I'm
again.
not going to lie. Okay, go ahead.
Laurel. Laurel.
Okay. You guys text in, call in. We need to know before we can move on with the story.
Literally the first person that texted in said Yanni. I'm not joking. The first person that texted the live line said they heard Yanni.
Really?
It's Laurel, dude.
Okay.
Like, it's Laurel.
Everybody so far on Facebook, it looks like they're saying
Laurel.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Did anyone, because like on Facebook, it's like everyone, Mateo, Bernadette, Casey, Jarrett, seriously, like everyone.
Yeah. Did anybody hear anything else besides Laurel?
So Bree just chimed in and said Laurel, but when I listened to the video on someone else's Facebook, I heard Yanni.
Really?
Stephanie heard Harry, and she just needs to go away.
Harry.
Laurel. Laurel.
Okay, so let me tell you what this is all about. Monday night, there was a fashion designer named Chloe Feldman. She tweeted out a video where a computer-generated voice says one word, and the word is either Yanni or Laurel, and people are going crazy arguing over which is right.
Oh my gosh, dude, we've already got like 100 texts.
Is everybody pretty much saying?
No.
Oh, really?
I hear Yanni and Laurel.
What?
Yummy? Yearly? Yummy? Somebody said, I think people who say Yanni just like to have attention for being different. Because I agree. I don't hear anything but Laurel.
Laurel. Laurel.
There's no way!
Yeah, there's...
People can hear Yanni, and I think you're all liars. Liars.
It says some people hear Yanni, some people hear Laurel, some even hear both. This person said, I heard Yanni when I listened to it through the speaker on my phone, but I heard Laurel when I listened with my headphones.
Somebody heard yearly. I don't...
According to a poll on BuzzFeed, 50% of people said they heard Yanni. 50%! 36% heard Laurel, and 13% could hear both. So here's what's going on. Apparently, it all has to do with the audio frequencies. Younger people are more likely to hear Yanni because that's what's coming through in higher frequencies that they can still hear.
No, dude. There's no... Somebody said definitely did not hear Laurel. It's Yanni.
You're also more likely to hear Yanni in bad speakers because they don't handle lower frequencies so well. But with good headphones, you'll probably hear Laurel, which is what the voice is actually saying.
So he is saying Laurel.
He is saying Laurel, but...
Thank you, Lord, Dole. I can't, dude. Somebody said I heard Yanni the first 3 times you played it, but then once you said Laurel, that's all I'm hearing now.
All right, I'm going to slow it down by 20%, see if it makes a difference.
Laurel. Laurel.
Whoa. Whoa. Did you hear the first one? Okay, so it played both of the words, okay?
I hate this.
Yanni. Yanni.
I hear Yanni.
I know.
I hate
Yanni.
I hate this. This is
Yanni.
This is stupid.
Okay.
So it's I swear it's Laurel. But
Laurel.
See?
Laurel.
That's Laurel.
Yeah. That's increased
I can't do this.
in pitch.
I can't do this. Dude, somebody said Yammy. I hear Yammy.
Yammy?
Somebody said I definitely hear Yanni. If it's between that or Laurel, I hear Yanni. There's no way it's Laurel.
All right, this is we're gonna increase the pitch by 30%.
Laurel. Laurel.
Yeah,
It's just Laurel,
still
man.
hear Laurel. Well, this is down by 30%.
Yanni. Yanni.
I hate all of this.
See, I hear Yorl.
I hear Yammy.
Did you?
Yeah.
You heard Yammy?
Yanni.
Yeah.
Yanni.
I don't hear
this
it.
is stupid.
I don't hear Yammy. Not at all. That's pretty weird. So yeah, again, they're just saying it has to do with the audio frequencies, and younger people, those are the ones that are hearing Yanni because of the frequency, or it has something to do with maybe you have bad speakers and it doesn't handle the lower frequencies so well. So that's kind of what it depends on.
Somebody said there's got to be a difference between the radio feed and listening on Facebook. I'm trying so hard to hear Laurel, but it's just not there.
Wow. They can't hear that at all.
Laurel.
Dude, Laurel.
Laurel.
Yeah.
Laurel.
But then when we played, when the first time we played it, we lowered the pitch by 20%. I heard Yanni.
Yanni.
I don't hear it anymore, though.
Yanni.
I don't hear it anymore.
You still hear Laurel?
I heard Laurel, but the first time I
heard
played
Yanni.
that, see? The
I
first
just
time I heard
Yanni.
Yanni, but now I don't hear it.
I don't get this.
I think my mind's already processed it.
Yanni.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
Yanni.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Really?
Laurel. Laurel.
Okay, people think we're being funny, and it's two different things. I promise you that it is the exact same audio we are playing, just pitched differently.
Pitched up and down.
It's not different words. Thus, the crazy conundrum and the fact that 100 people are chiming in right now with hearing different things.
Yeah, Stacey says, when you slow it down, I hear Yanni.
Dude, this is weird, man.
Jared says, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat.
Laurel. Laurel.
Dude, it's Laurel.
That's the word is Laurel, but some people hear Yanni or yummy.
So, okay, I'm sorry. Explain the science behind this again. Why is it that we hear Laurel, but some people are dumb and hear Yanni? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Younger people.
Sorry, Yanni.
Younger people are more likely to hear Yanni because that's what's coming through in higher frequencies that they can still hear. I don't know if you've ever done that test recently, but there's a frequency that you can download online that you can test, and only people that are young can hear it. I can't hear it anymore.
All you hear is Laurel?
Well, no, this is another test that they do.
Oh, the like?
Yeah, like I can't hear that anymore. When you reach a certain age, you can't hear it, but young people can hear it. I wonder if that has to do with it.
Somebody said, nope, I'm 41 and I only hear Yanni.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're also more likely to hear Yanni in bad speakers because they don't handle lower frequencies so well. But with good headphones, you'll probably hear Laurel.
Somebody said, I can't hear Yanni and I am not that old.
Yeah, it just all depends.
Somebody else said, I am 51 years old and all I hear is Yammy. I can't.
Yeah, it's almost split.
Somebody else said enough with this witchcraft.
Yeah, a lot of people are hearing other things too.
Yeah, somebody said, nope, no matter the pitch, all I hear is Yanni.
Laurel.
That's Laurel!
Laurel.
I can't.
Not to that person.
Yanni. Yanni. Laurel. Laurel.
All I hear is Laurel now.
You don't hear Yanni when it's
Before,
pitched?
I heard it once. I heard Yanni. Now I don't. I don't hear it at all.
Yanni. Yanni.
No.
Dude, are you messing with
No,
me?
I only hear Laurel.
All I hear is Yanni when
Really?
you pitch it down.
Yanni. Yanni.
Okay, I
I don't hear it anymore.
Somebody said this is clearly the audio version of the dress.
Laurel. Laurel.
I quit.
Yep. There it is,
Yanni,
guys.
are you okay?
Yanni,
are
are
you
you
okay? You okay, Yanni?
It's good. It's good. All right. Well, it's kind of fun.
So what is... Literally nothing is changing but the frequencies,
Yeah, it's
right?
just frequency.
Like, because when you pitch it down, it changes the frequency of the voice.
Yeah. It says, depending on how you talk or what you're used to hearing from other people, you might hear it one way or you might hear it the other way. Some people hear both words at the same time.
I don't. What's crazy to me is, okay, the word that is stated is laurel. So everybody who just hears Yanni, that's incorrect. Like the actual stated word they've said is in fact laurel.
Yeah. It's not Yanni, it's Laurel.
But because of the way your ears hear it, they don't even sound, they don't rhyme. They don't sound
not at all.
anything alike. So I think that's why it's freaking me out. Oh, man. Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
It's the latest version of the dress, guys, but it's an audio clip. Thanks to a fashion designer named Chloe Feldman, tweeted out a video where a computer-generated voice says one word, and the word is either Yanni or Laurel. People are crazy. It's split almost 50-50 down the middle. And it's crazy. Man. I wonder if that says anything about you. Like, I mean, because we can't hear in those frequencies anymore,
I don't
does
know.
that mean something?
Some are saying, like, I think if you're telling people what they might hear with the names, they come up with different names. But I didn't. Last night, Chrissy showed this to me, and she said, just tell me what you hear. Like, she didn't tell me, she didn't say one or the other. She just asked me what I heard, and I heard Laurel.
Laurel.
Yeah.
Laurel. Yanni. Yanni.
Somebody said it's also could be the different speakers everyone is using.
That's
maybe
what it says, too.
maybe it's EQ'd differently in your car, like your stereo.
Yeah. It says bad speakers, you're more likely to hear Yanni.
Oh, good.
Let me check your speakers, man.
If you're hearing Yanni, time to upgrade, yo.
Yeah. Because they don't handle lower
This
frequencies.
hour of programming brought to you by... I'm just gonna...
Yeah. There it is. Well, thank you for chiming in, guys. Thank you. That was good. Yeah. Jarrett says, I hate you, fashion designer Chloe. It's not nice.
Laurel. Laurel.
Yeah.
Evan just hears a heavy smoker's voice.
Yep.
See? Joshua says, maybe this is why my 10-year-old doesn't clean his room. All he hears me say is, go play PS4.
Ah. Sorry, the frequency is off. I didn't hear what you said. Man, that's the next time your wife tells you something, that's what you say.
Honey, it's just the frequency of your voice.
The frequency, it's too low. Or it's too high.
But there's something to that scientifically now because of this, which is throwing me way off, man.
Then you can point to the science.
Mark says, I've listened to this 12 times and all I hear is Avengers Assemble.
Okay, you're done. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, gentlemen.
Oh, you're old as dirt. What do you hear?
Old as dirt.
Old as dirt.
Matt Gentry, everybody. Sorry, that wasn't very nice.
Funny.
I'm sorry. That wasn't very nice. Hey, and congratulations, too, on being sober. How many years?
3.
3 years, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's great. Yesterday was the 3 year.
Yesterday was the 3-year anniversary.
It's awesome, man.
Dude, if you missed that episode of The Morning Invasion with Gentry talking about that.
That was pretty cool.
I was bawling, bro.
Yeah, go back
good.
on YouTube or Facebook Live and
or catch it on demand.
It was great.
It was great.
I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. I do hear something over and over.
What do you hear?
Stupid bit.
It's not a bit, dude.
It's not a bit.
It's not a bit.
I'm totally kidding. I hear both, like you guys say. I don't know what to say. I think could Could it literally be that? Are you guys sure you're not changing the word at all?
Promise.
No.
That's what's crazy.
Just lowering the pitch or hiring the pitch.
Pitched it down by 20%, pitched it up by 20%, the exact same audio file. Like there's no manipulation going on.
Laurel.
Gosh, it drives me crazy. Because I'm with you. I saw this last night and just knew that somebody was playing a prank. And then we did this morning, and it's like, oh my gosh, I hear a different word when it's pitched up.
Well, I don't know what to say. I think it's crazy that it's the piatch. That's all that is.
Dude, for real.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I trust you. I still think there's something funny going on, but I trust you.
I promise. Dude, I'm being honest with you right now. I promise. So.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Okay. All right. Matt Gentry.
505-338-3700 if you'd like to call in.
Somebody said, speaking of, when do we get to talk Avengers? I need someone to talk to about it. I have no one. What is the rule as far as spoilers go for a film? How long? Because I don't want to talk about it. I don't want it to be ruined. Although I will say this morning I was talking to a Starmy member on the live line because I saw a film that I haven't been able to talk about with anybody because nobody's seen it. And it was like typing as fast as possible because you want to be able to talk about stuff, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
505-585-LIVE. You want to text into the show. Talking about this new crazy dress designer thing from Chloe Feldman. She tweeted out a computer-generated voice that says either Yanni or Laurel. I mean, the word is Laurel, but 50% of the audience hears Yanni.
It's so weird. Somebody said, yeah, guys, I used to tell my wife I couldn't hear her, that her voice doesn't carry or cut through.
Mm-hmm.
She never believed me, just thought he was being a jerk. Then they got an Alexa, and that thing can never hear her pitch or frequency.
Really?
Yeah. He said science has totally validated me.
Beautiful, man. Doesn't that feel good?
Yanni.
I hate everything about this.
Go ahead, caller.
My name is Laurie Ann, and when I was born, my sister was 1, and she always called me Lanny.
No, what? Okay, so your name is Laurel.
Laurie Ann.
Laurie, okay. And your sister?
My sister was 1 when I was born, and she called me Lanny.
Did you say Lanny or Yanni?
Lanny.
All I hear is Yanni. Is that what you said, Yanni?
No, with an L.
With an L?
Lanny.
Yanni.
Lanny.
Yanni.
You were so dumb.
Laurel.
Not you, Lori.
No,
Dexter.
That probably has something to do,
right,
with what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you so much for calling.
Bye.
Bye, Lanny.
Did you say Laurel or Lanny?
Yanni.
Yanni?
Gosh, you're
or
so
Yanni? Yeah, pretty crazy what people hear. And it's weird that some people hear both. Like some people can actually hear both.
Mm-hmm.
That must mean something, right? That must mean you're really smart. If you can hear both.
Somebody said Yanni and Laurel aren't words, so it's a computer-generated something. It's not a word. Somebody says all I hear is yammy, and I'm 20. I can admit I switched from my car speakers to my earbuds, and I could sort of see how you guys hear Laurel. Why don't you guys try through different speakers?
Yanni.
Yeah, it's probably different for us because we have headphones on. So maybe during the break, we could try through the speakers.
Somebody said it's scary how frequency, speakers, etc. change the whole word.
Yeah.
Like, think about the way... Oh, man.
Right? What if you're listening to a Bible teacher and your speakers are terrible? You could be getting the wrong information.
Shut up.
Blasphemy, man. Through your speakers.
Moving on.
Right. What do you guys hear?
Laurel. Laurel.
It's clearly Yanni or Laurel. according to your speakers or the way that you hear things or your age.
All I heard is Michael.
Michael? You heard Michael?
Michael.
Laurel.
No. Michael.
No. 505-585-5483 if you want to text into the show. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube. Good morning, Seth. What's up? Mark. How you doing? Star 88 on Facebook and YouTube. We're live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. We'll be right back.
Slater Transfer and Storage is a Star 88 power partner. Slater Transfer and Storage has been family owned for more than 30 years. They're an Atlas Interstate agent and are certified by the American Moving and Storage Association, moving locally, long distance, corporate, or even international, and providing local storage. Slater Transfer and Storage is located at 6900 Washington Street in Albuquerque. On the phone at 505-345-8841 and on the web at atlasalb.com.
It sounds crazy, but many of the problems we face can be traced back to our own faulty thinking. We get all tangled up in unhealthy attitudes that result in destructive behavior. This week on Walk in the Word, James McDonald explains that freedom comes when we learn to think differently. We're talking about overcoming the strongholds of sin all this week on Walk in the Word.
Make an appointment with James McDonald, weekdays at 12:30 p.m. on our sister station, KNKT 107.1 FM. Here's a solar flare from Franklin Graham. I just believe as a Christian, we are to show love. We are to show compassion to people, not to point the finger, to love them, to welcome them, to embrace them. On Star 88.
I was the reckless type.
keep on running. Fathers, mothers, keep on loving. Fighters, soldiers, hold your weapons and lay your back on me, lay your back on me. Brothers, sisters, keep on reaching. Fathers, mothers, keep on dreaming. Fighters, soldiers, drop your weapons and lay your back on me, lay your back on me. I don't wanna be nobody else. I don't wanna be nobody else. I keep running from myself, trying to be somebody else. I don't wanna be nobody else. I don't wanna be nobody else. I keep running from myself, trying to be
Ken Costa wants you to get a grip.
You don't have to tell me, and I wouldn't dare telling you. But it's tough in the workplace. The stress levels are high. The work that we're doing is anxious making. We must always remember that my workstation is my worship station. The place where I'm working is where God is calling me to worship. It makes a huge difference. We don't just worship here when we have this amazing worship group singing great songs to God. We don't just worship God for an hour or so on a Sunday, unless you're Pentecostal and that's 3 hours. We worship God every day in the work that we're doing.
Ken Costa on a Star 88 PowerPoint.
What's going on in the news today?
Uber reverses a controversial policy on the way sexual assault or harassment claims are handled.
If you got into an Uber, it meant you'd agreed to arbitration, not court, if you had a legal issue with the company, unless you'd opted out within a specific time frame. That went for employees as well. Well, now Uber says that's over. If you have a claim, you can take it to court.
Writer Tom Wolfe, often seen in his trademark white suit, best known for Bonfire of the Vanities, made into a 1990 film starring Bruce Willis and Tom Hanks.
You want to build a road or a hospital, and you need a lot of money?
Also known for The Right Stuff, adapted from his book immortalizing America's first astronauts and Chuck Yeager, the pilot who broke the sound barrier.
Some kind of war hero.
His agent said he died after an infection.
Some cafeteria workers are told to not give a child a hot meal if records show their parents are behind on lunch money payments.
Robinson Cano, the Seattle Mariners all-star second baseman, is suspended for 80 games over a drug violation.
Facebook details how it finds content which violates its standards and how many flagged posts were recently purged from the site. Reps say in the first quarter of this year, the social network disabled more than 580 million fake accounts and took down over 830 million pieces of spam.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Live from the Dreamstar remote. Whoa.
Welcome.
Who's that? Who speaks?
Well, Dex, you said welcome to, I know the listening audience, but I'm part of your listening audience.
Yes, you are. You are Starmy.
I am.
His name is Brian Nixon. He's joining us. So we were just talking. You know what? I don't want to say anything. I just want to play something for you. And you have to tell us what you hear, okay?
Yeah.
You ready?
Have you heard this audio? No?
Let's hear it.
New controversy? Okay.
I want to hear it.
Hello. What?
That was it? That was the new thing? Hello? Well, I have lots of thoughts about that audio clip. Because
No. Hold on.
Because one hello is one section, but when you put two, it raises it to a different degree. But when you put three hellos, it's what we call a superlative. And superlatives in Scripture and in the English language really gives it a more force and meaning.
Hello.
Oh, wait, there was only two.
Hold on.
So that's not rising it to the superlative level.
All right, I slowed it down. Okay, what do you hear?
Laurel. Moron.
Okay.
What are you trying to say, Dex? You invite me on and then you call me a moron?
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to speed it up this time, okay?
Oh, wait.
All right?
Okay.
Laurel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that was my voice. I took Steve-O's voice, and he said the same word. What do you hear?
Murder.
Murder?
Really? Murder?
Yeah.
Murder. Huh?
Wait, they're two separate words.
Really? What's that one?
Murder. And you said Laurel. But you first said moron.
Oh. Wait.
You called... Murder. Oh, murder right there, yeah.
Murder. Okay. All right. We're being funny, but hold on. Before we get into this,
needs to use the bathroom. He's crying right now.
Hold on a second.
People.
I'm freaking out because this first drop that I played, this one right here.
Hello.
What?
Where did that come from?
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
No, he didn't.
I didn't say that in the microphone. What is that?
He really did say
All
Laurel.
I said was Laurel.
Oh my gosh, my stomach.
Hey guys, is this akin to kind of like that big thing in the 70s of backwards masking, albums?
Hello.
There's a controversy going on right now because of this term that it was computer generated, and depending upon the frequency you play it at, you hear different words.
Right.
Like entirely.
Okay, so let me play what
this is the real one.
This is the real one that this fashion designer Chloe Feldman tweeted.
Laurel.
Right.
Laurel.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now
I'm going to pitch it down.
Laurel.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I'm going to increase the pitch by 20.
Laurel. I still hear Laurel.
Okay.
All I hear is Laurel now.
All right. I'm gonna go up by 30%.
Laurel. I hear Laurel.
Right?
All right, now down by 30%.
Yummy. Yeah, that right there sounds like Yeti or Yelly or something
Yammy,
like that.
that's what I just heard.
Yep.
See, totally different.
So either people, like 50% say they hear Laurel and the other says Yanni.
Right. Well, that has both physiological and scientific ramifications of why that is.
Yeah.
Physiological because our ears can only hear at certain ranges. There's like our eyes, we could only see we can only see in a certain spectrum.
Had him on the first.
And in when you're seeing something, our eyes only see in a certain spectrum. So we can't let's say see ultraviolet rays, or we can't see other types of rays. And same thing with our ears. We only hear a different spectrum.
Right.
So when we go beyond the spectrum of hearing, our brain processes that and tries to make sense of what we're hearing. And what we're hearing may not be something exact, but what our brain is processing it as.
Murder.
So that's why you hear murder with Steve.
No, he said Laurel.
No, that's why you hear murder, because it's beyond. And Steve-O may have just said the wrong word.
No, he didn't. But what? I can't explain this one.
Hello.
What is that?
That, my friend.
What is that? I didn't say that.
That is I can't say it.
That's you coming early in the morning without a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
He said, what's crazy is I was with him.
I turned the mic on and said Laurel.
Hello.
What is that? And it sounds like a South Park character that lives in a cave. Oh man.
But here, let's get something straight here, guys. We all know this. I'm next door. I sit next door. When Dex comes in the morning, he treats his board like a person, and he always greets it with love and affection. And that's exactly what you're hearing.
Is that
so when Dex comes in, he looks at his board. He loves it so much, he goes, hello.
So what you're saying is it's possible for us to hear things differently even though somebody said something else.
Unquestionably.
There you go. Husbands, wives.
Scientifically proven.
So what you're saying is it's possible that we are all just misinformed and misunderstanding what Andy Stanley was saying last week in his message.
Well...
Good segue.
Nice segue to Andy Stanley.
He just joined the Star Me lineup, and Andy Stanley is a very well-known pastor.
Yes.
And last week,
Charles Stanley's son,
he just hit the news hard.
Yes.
I would implore everybody who cares about this topic to go back and listen to the message in its entirety, because things can be taken out of context.
That's right.
When not given the full thing, but this blew up everywhere. He's a pretty famous pastor, if you will, and his quote is, quote, "Christians need to unhitch the Old Testament from their faith."
Whoa, Rob Bell.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let me comment on this. First of all, I would disagree with Andy Stanley in the term he used.
Right.
Unhitch. And what this tells us, Christians, people in general, we need to be careful with the words we use.
Yeah.
Because when you say the word unhitch in its basic definitional meaning, it means to free from.
Yeah.
It means to take it away from where it's placed. So when you say to unhitch, you're saying, I'm going to take this from where it is. So in its base meaning, what Andy Stanley is saying is we need to take the Old Testament away from the New Testament.
Right.
The problem is he's wrong.
Right.
I mean, in its basic definition. If you were to take the Old Testament, if you were to unhitch the Old Testament from the New Testament, we are led with a host of amazing problems. First of all, Jesus refers back to the Old Testament a multiplicity of times. Jesus quotes from Genesis to Isaiah to various minor prophets, the Psalms, and so much, so frequently Jesus refers to it that to unhitch or to take the Old Testament away from the New would be disastrous.
Yeah.
Secondly, we get a lot of our theological doctrine, such as the doctrine of creation, the Adamic covenant, the Noah covenant. We get the Davidic covenant. So if we're to unhitch the Old Testament from the New, we have problems theologically as well.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, when you look at this, not only did, Jesus refer back to it, and that we have a lot of theology connected to the Old Testament, the historical narrative of redemption is rooted in the Old Testament. So all that said, I don't think, and again, Andy's not in this room to defend himself or to clarify at this point. And I'm sure he's going to, because
he responded at all?
Because it was such a huge thing. But I'm thinking that Andy may have just used the wrong word.
Which, by the way, happy birthday, Andy. Today is his 60th birthday.
No kidding.
So I'm thinking Andy used the wrong word. And here's the thing with Andy Stanley. He's been known to do that in the past.
Yeah, he has. A couple years ago, he was in hot water for something.
Well, he's a dude.
Yeah. The bottom line is that, a couple years ago, he basically said, we shouldn't divide or something of this. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
That theology doesn't matter. It's really unity that matters. So the whole idea is that, it doesn't matter what you believe. It's just that we're unified. And again, that has some inherent problems within it. Again, his sentiment was probably right.
And this is what people are wanting to know, because they're like, okay, you said context is everything, so what is the context? So let me quote from his message directly what he was saying. He was using Acts 15 in a sermon describing how the early church decided that Gentile converts didn't need to observe Jewish law to become Christians. So he says, quote, "First century church leaders unhitched the church from the worldview, value system, and regulations of the Jewish scriptures. Peter, James, Paul elected to unhitch the Christian faith from their Jewish scriptures, and my friends, we must as well.
Okay, so I would disagree with his word use there. I don't think Paul and Peter unhitched it from its Jewish origins. I think they clarified it and gave it focus. So I wouldn't say that Paul and Peter were just unhitching things, separating it. And here's the point. Both Peter and Paul were incredibly, specifically Paul, as a Pharisee,
Right.
he was incredibly in tune with the Old Testament. And to say they just went and unhitched it, I think is doing disservice to both Peter and Paul, but I also think it's doing disservice to the broader context of the passage. So I think what Peter and Paul did is they clarified and maybe had given it new meaning. They applied it in a new way to the New Testament church. But to unhitch it, I think both Paul and Peter would unequivocally deny that.
I wonder what
they
it's
would
like
disagree
to,
with Andy.
I wonder what it's like to say the wrong thing all the time.
Yeah. Well, we
what is it like to miscommunicate?
We all
say
say
the
wrong
words
thing
when we don't mean them. As the certain things just come out of our mouth sometimes, and we're like,
But that's why we have a great responsibility. You and
Yeah.
I, for 20 hours every week, have words that we say,
Yeah.
and there are plenty of times where we have said things
Why you gotta
incorrectly.
put it that
Right.
way?
And,
I'm just saying.
And Steve, on the serious note, James reminds us that teachers have a greater
a teacher?
responsibility.
No. We are by no means
But Andy
teachers.
Stanley is, and that's why I'm saying, as a teacher with such a prominent, voice, a pedestal, you really need to think through what you're about to say and how you're going to say it.
Yeah.
Because what ensues is exactly what we're saying. I think it was, Andy Stanley, for some reason, gets in, maybe says these things that get into controversial moments. But even after that theological comment he made that I referenced at the beginning, he said something after like, hey, expository sermons, those are easy. What's hard is these topic-based sermons like I give. That's really what hard sermon is. I would now say, well, maybe what people need to do is go back and look at the text and expound the text and understand the text before you start making these pronouncements.
Right.
Because we really need to, guard what we say.
Yeah, well, he went on to say that Jesus' new covenant, his covenant with the nations, his covenant with you, his covenant with us, can stand on its own two nail-scarred resurrection feet. It does not need propping up by the Jewish scriptures. The Bible did not create Christianity. The resurrection of Jesus created and launched Christianity.
Okay, so let me comment on that.
He keeps. Oh, he's not done.
Wait, but
Okay.
let me just stop.
Yeah.
He's wrong. Yeah. And I'm just saying that right now. Again, just to say that Jesus doesn't need the Old Testament, I need to bite my tongue because, guys, that's verging, that's teetering on heresy, Gnosticism.
Yeah.
So the Gnostics in the first century believed that you didn't need the Old Testament, that Jesus and what he accomplished was a new covenant. Therefore, you could disregard, you could get rid of all that Jewish fable stuff, that God was a different God, and Jesus ushered in the new covenant God. And Gnosticism was deemed a heresy in the first and second century. All Christians, all Orthodox Christians, from Irenaeus to Tertullian to Athanasius to Augustine, and keeps going on, all fought against that notion. So Orthodox Christianity, what we would now say Bible-believing Christianity, had always fought against that notion of the separation between the old and new. And sadly, I think Andy Stanley obviously is an intelligent man, but this type of rhetoric leads to some problems. You invariably have to understand what Jesus did in light of the Old Testament. It makes sense in light of the Old Testament, of God's disclosure through the Jewish people. To disregard the Jewish people and the nation of Israel and the Davidic and the Mosaic covenants and all these other things is to not fully understanding the profound nature of what Christ accomplished. So I think Andy Stanley is just wrong.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking at different passages in different places, because he talked about Paul unhitching
He sure
the
liked
Old
that
Testament. But yeah, he said it a few times. But then I think of like Galatians 3, where Paul explicitly talks about the purpose of the law. Like,
Yeah.
well, then why do we have the law?
Right.
Because without the law,
It was a tutor, schoolmaster.
How would we even know that we need Jesus? Does
Yeah,
that make?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
am I wrong in that?
No,
Like,
you're spot on.
That was the first thing I thought of.
That's Paul's whole point: is the
Right.
Messiah came to fulfill the law,
Yeah.
not to do away with it. So the problem is multifold with statements like that. Again, but I'm going to give Andy Stanley the benefit of the doubt. And maybe what he's doing is he hadn't thought through the ramifications of using his words. But what's a little bit unnerving to me is what you read, Steve-O, from him, because to say that you don't need the Old Testament to prop up, that is doing no justice to the full counsel of Scripture. And honestly, that is almost Gnostic in its overtones.
Yeah. He said. He went on to say that your whole house of Old Testament cards can come tumbling down. The question is, did Jesus rise from the dead? And the eyewitnesses said he did. He said that these comments might be a little disturbing to some, but for others, it's liberating. It's liberating for men and women who are drawn to the simple message that God loves you so much, he sent his son to pave the way to a relationship with you.
So again, using basic logic, he's creating a new set of house of cards. Not the resurrection. Obviously, that is pinnacle. That is the reason. But you know, he's tearing down one house of cards, the Old Testament, and creating a new house of cards, you know, eyewitness accounts or so on and so forth. And though the New Testament does testify to eyewitness accounts and such, which is a very important facet of the New Testament eyewitness accounts, but to say the Old Testament is not needed in this is completely going against 2,000 years of church teaching. It's going against specific biblical witness found in Jesus, in Paul, in Peter, and everyone else who quotes the Old Testament to give credence to the fulfilled prophecies of the New. So if I'm going to believe Jesus or Andy Stanley, I'm going to believe Jesus.
Right. Yeah.
If I'm going to believe Paul or Andy Stanley, I'm going to believe Paul. If I'm going to believe Peter or Andy Stanley, I'm going to believe Peter. And the list can go on and on and on of every single New Testament author that quotes the Old Testament, that gives their roots and credence in fulfilled prophecy found in Old. I just think Andy is wrong.
Yeah. In John 1, you know, it talks in the beginning was the Word. Is that speaking of the whole Word of God in the beginning?
That's Logos, and that is more of a what we would call transcendental concept. It's rooted in the broader concept than the Word. Now, mind you, when John was writing, you didn't have the New Testament,
right?
So John was hinging on, not unhinging.
Yeah.
I'm going to reverse what Angie Stanley's saying. John is hinging upon a broader concept of what we'd call the transcendentals, which were truth, beauty, goodness, and unity. And these larger principles that all emanated from God. So this idea of the Word is basically, that's the Logos, that's the truth of God. He is God's spoken word. Yeah. It carries a lot more meat than just, or a broader context than just saying, you know, the Scripture.
Gotcha.
Though that's entailed in it as well.
Stephanie said, by unhinging the Old Testament, then wouldn't we lose all the prophecies that validate the person of Jesus?
That's my point. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
Is to unhinge the Old Testament, you have to unhinge Jesus. You have to unhinge Paul. You have to unhinge Peter. You have to unhinge every New Testament author. To unhinge the Old Testament, again, is a very Gnostic understanding of the Bible.
Now, I will say, he said that the Old Testament still holds great importance for believers. They're a means to an extraordinary end. The Jewish scriptures are the backstory for the main story. They're an important backstory. They're divinely inspired. They are God on the move through ancient times. But he was saying that it is liberating for people to unhinge the Old Testament. It's liberating for people who need and understand grace, who need and understand forgiveness, and it's liberating for people who find it virtually impossible to embrace the dynamic, the worldview and the value system depicted in the story of ancient Israel. Do you think sometimes it's because...
Well, let me just say, what you read there, I'm glad he at least gave a little bit of clarity on the importance of the Old Testament. But still, I think he's sending a confusing message by saying it's unhinging. Because rather than saying we need to unhinge it, we need to, maybe he should say, hey, we need to clarify and expound it and understand it in light of what God did in Christ through the resurrection.
Right.
So it's not separating it, bringing it away from its original form, but it's expounding it, it's explaining it in light of what God did in the New Testament.
Well, I think a lot of times, because I have plenty of friends who did this, who could not wrap their minds around something in the Old Testament, whether it was when God's like, I want you to go out and slaughter this people group, or they look at different things in the Old Testament, and unfortunately, because of those things, that's kind of their excuse to walk away or to. And because Andy Stanley says this was the introduction to this entire message. If you were raised on a version of Christianity that relied on the Bible as the foundation of faith, a version that was eventually dismantled by academia or the realities of life, maybe it's time for you to change your mind about Jesus.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. What he just did, he's built a false house of cards.
Right.
Where do we find out about Jesus? The Bible. So if you start unhinging sections of the Bible and then give credence to all these scholars who have shown, that there's problems in the Old Testament and all this, it just seems to me that Andy Stanley may have what we call a low view of Scripture. He doesn't necessarily see it as the inspired, inerrant Word of God, but that it's a nice book that maybe God has used throughout the time, and God's on the move and so on and so forth. Though there's truths, small t, in what he's saying, I think he's missing the broader truth. So he's seeing the trees without seeing the forest.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, well, because he continued and said, maybe it's time for you to consider the version of Christianity that relies on the event of the resurrection of Jesus as the foundation. If you gave up your faith because of something about or in the Bible, maybe you gave up unnecessarily.
Yeah,
so
and again, I see where he's coming from.
I see what he's saying.
Yeah,
it's
I see where he's coming from.
He's wanting to point people to Jesus because, of course, ultimately, yes, this is the gospel. Like his death, his resurrection, it all hangs on this one thing. But what he's doing is trying to, because somebody else brought up the idea that, like, well, maybe it's because within his community there's a lot of people who just don't know what to do about what the Old Testament says about homosexuality or what it says about, and so because of that, they're like, I can't hang with you.
But here's why the importance of teaching through the Bible, because you could explain and expound upon these things when you're teaching the Bible versus just dismissing them.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing: to dismiss the Old Testament and say it's all about Christ. Well, what about all the references Christ makes to the Old Testament? Do we dismiss those? Do we all of a sudden start to pick and choose what we want Jesus to say? Yeah. Well, I kind of like this love part where Jesus says, but this other part about hell, I don't like that because he's referencing the Old Testament. So let's just throw that out.
Yeah.
Then we are once again coming to a very Gnostic understanding of the Bible.
Okay.
Picking and choosing what we want it to say. And rather than letting us read the Bible, let the Bible read us.
Yeah,
that's good,
dude. 2 Timothy 3:16, all Scripture is God breathed. Somebody sent that in. And what's interesting, when they were writing that letter, they were referring to the Old Testament because they didn't have a New Testament in their hands yet.
That's right. I could go on and on. Maybe we'll take this up tomorrow.
Can we do this tomorrow?
Yeah,
because somebody asked a really good question about the dietary law, because they said that's a change, not a clarification. Can we discuss that further?
Oh, we could easily discuss that.
Okay, cool.
It's a fulfillment. Jesus fulfilled that. But we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Brian Nixon, everybody.
Love that dude.
Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Tune in, 3 Degrees with Brian Nixon. We're live from the Dream Star Remodeling Star 88 Studios. We'll be right back.
A Star 88 Supernova with Greg Laurie.
Lord, you're the almighty God. You're the great God. You're the creator God. You're the sovereign God. Why do I say that? I'm just getting things in perspective before I even start. And is this not what Jesus taught us in what we call the Lord's Prayer? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that prayer that Jesus taught us to pray, The model for all prayer does not start with my needs. I don't say, Our Father who art in heaven, give me this day my daily bread. No, I say, My Father who art in heaven, hallowed, set apart be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So I'm contemplating God in his greatness.
Catch Greg Laurie's teaching show, A New Beginning, on our sister station, KNKT, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. on 107.1 FM.
This is Groundwire with Sean Dunn.
A couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to visit a camp in Canada. One day while wandering around the island as students were working, I came across a team of 8 teenage girls that were carrying a 1,600-pound log back into the camp. As I observed their activities, I realized that the task they had been given was bigger than they were. There is no way that 8 petite middle school and high school girls should effectively lift this monster of a tree, but they ended up carrying it 3/4 of a mile. When they arrived at the camp several weeks earlier, they may have been convinced that they weren't strong enough to complete such a feat. But after being surrounded by encouraging voices and having built up through more difficult assignments, they knew that they could pull it off. Many people think that they will never be able to succeed in one part of life or another. But if they get around encouraging voices and if they learn to make baby steps towards success, before long they're accomplishing great things in life. The Bible says that people that love God can do anything because Christ can help them. Think about that. If you let the Creator of the universe help you, you will discover that you can succeed. You can do great things with your life.
To find out more, click on groundwire.net. Groundwire.net.
This is KLYT Albuquerque, Santa Fe, rebroadcast on KKCJ Cannon Air Force Base, KPKJ Mintmore, K201CC Las Cruces, K203EZ Alamogordo, K207CQ Gallup, K211CW Hobbs, K212EH Silver City, K214DE Antonito, K218AK Artesia, K250AB Roswell, K293AO Alamosa, K228DQ Portales, in the free app for iOS and Android, and online at star88.fm.
You got eyes like the light in cloudy chimneys. You got cries like the bird of song in lonely trees. You got hands like the land and feet like the sea. And you're not as simple as you seem. For your flesh is weak and your bones are bare, and you cannot see your beating heart. Doesn't mean it's not there. For there is none good, though we don't seem too bad. We cannot live till we realize that we were once dead. heart doesn't mean it's not there. Your body's not good. No, we don't seem too bad. We can't live till we realize that we were one. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
You better watch yourself, son.
Are we live? We're live. Good morning. We're live, everybody. Good morning. We're live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Thank you so much for being part of the program. And I think I'm going to talk like this the rest of the show.
What? No.
Yeah.
No, because
What's up,
okay.
everybody?
You're changing the frequencies of your voice. Okay.
Yeah, baby. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You can watch the show. We upload every show every day. We're also on demand through the Star 88 app. You can download on your smartphone. You can stream us live there as well. Just search Morning Invasion, iTunes, SoundCloud. We're everywhere, guys. Everywhere. No excuses. Share it with your friends. You guys can call in 505-338-3700 if you'd like to say hello. And you can also text the live line. What's that live line number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483.
And not only can you text it, but you can call and leave a voicemail. And, man, I haven't checked it since I got back.
Oh, no.
Hi, this is Maria Ray Desmond, and I just talked to you a while ago. And you quoted me saying that it was 304. I thought it was 296, including the tax. Now, I'm kind of concerned about that because in the past, I always paid 285 or 235.
That's true.
But mostly 285. So if you figure, you know, the 296 plus tax, that's 304. That's kind of steep. I don't know if I can afford that.
Yeah,
but anyway, thank you. Bye-bye.
Guess that's why we haven't checked our
That's
voicemail.
It's the only one I got.
That's good.
So,
Give us a call, guys.
yeah, that's it. That's one voicemail. Nothing to do with us. Okay. Thank you for that. I have a great story. Did you want to go back to anything we were talking about? Did you before we move on?
No.
Is there anything you want to discuss?
I think we're going to unpack a little more tomorrow during
good.
3 Degrees with B-Nix. I'm really looking forward to that hour. If you guys don't know, every Thursday we have Pastor Brian Nixon on, and he just kind of hangs out with us. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow. Lots to talk about, including Ethan Hawke. Remember Ethan Hawke?
I remember Ethan Hawke.
Okay, good.
I shared a story a couple years ago about how I have a special relationship with bees.
What?
Don't you remember, bro? I'm like the bee whisperer.
Yeah.
I was a young child.
Yes.
And there was some bees, honeybees, next to where I was growing up, next to my home. And I would always sing to the bees. They'd never sting me.
Yeah.
I was one with the bees. They were my friends. Well, one day my brother, he wanted to walk to the town dump because the bees were along the way. I told my brother some very important advice. I said, Mike, if you don't want to get stung, you have to sing to the bees. And he made fun of me, he bullied me, and I believe he pushed me to the ground and kicked me.
So weird.
Guess what?
What?
We got next to the bees.
Mm-hmm.
I started to sing. My brother Mike did not.
Oh, no.
Guess what happened to my brother?
He got stung by
He
bees.
got stung multiple times.
Oh, my gosh.
Hundreds of times.
You
He
tried to
ran.
tell him.
He ran back home crying because the bees, they stung him. Did I get stung? No. I didn't get stung because one with the bees, man.
No, guys, don't listen to this.
This is a true story. This is 100%
You need to talk
true.
to Scotty because he's got a bee business. So
Telling you guys, I've never been stung by a bee.
Yeah.
Well, I came upon this beautiful story. Let me give you the headline. Highland woman becomes first known person to keep bumblebee as a pet. And I'm not talking about Bumblebee the Transformer. It started in spring last year when Fiona, she's a library assistant, she rescued a buff-tailed or large earth bumblebee queen that had been born without wings and was struggling to survive. Over the next few months, the two appeared to develop a special bond. Bee, as Presley named the... Hold on, my music ran out. Hold on. Excuse me. Bee, as Presley named the insect, would even cuddle and seemed to be house-trained. She cared for this bumblebee. Had a profound impact on how this librarian teacher thinks of insects now. This is, quote, what the librarian said. I found her when we were getting work done in the garden, and it was lucky I didn't stand on her. She must have just come out of hibernation. I put my hand down in front of her. She crawled right onto my arm. I looked at her and thought, something's not right here. She's got no wings. The weather was bad. So Presley made an ad hoc garden with fresh flowers in a crate and took the bee aside overnight. She soon realized the queen, unable to fly, would probably die without help. So from then on, the librarian assistant bonded, formed a friendship with this insect, the bee. Remember, it doesn't have wings. They ate dinner together. They prayed together. I added that part in. They formed a relationship like nobody ever has. You know what? This might be the first relationship with a bee since my relationship with the bees back in the 80s.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
This lady has a bumblebee for a pet. Man. Well, a bee psychologist. This sparks some interest.
I'm sorry. There is an actual field for bee psychology.
Bee psychology, yeah.
That's
you can take it at what's the college over here?
UNM.
Thank you.
UNM.
This is what the psychologist, the bee psychologist said. No scientist, to my knowledge, has tested whether bees, even with each other, forms... Hold on. Music ran out. No scientist, to my knowledge, has tested whether bees, even with each other, form some sort of emotional relations. So I think it's quite remarkable that a layman would make such detailed observations that actually get scientists to scratch their heads and ask, what's going on there? What's happening? Why does this lady, this librarian assistant, have such a remarkable relationship with a bee that has no wings? It's a bond. Oh, you laugh. You laugh until, you know what, next time we come across some bees, guess who's getting stung?
Not me, man.
Are you going to sing?
Because I'm going to say, Scotty's Pawn Hive, yo.
Nope, that doesn't work. You
My
gotta sing.
brother is the king of you all.
Yeah. I'm telling you guys, I have a special relationship with bees. I'll test me. I don't care.
To me, this more speaks to the idea of stupid pets.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Why is it a stupid pet?
A bee?
Yeah, man.
How long did it live?
Is it still alive?
No. She cared for it until its death.
How long do bees live?
I didn't think they lived that long, man.
Huh.
So it was a queen bee?
It was a queen bee that had no wings. That thing crawled right up on her arm, and she took that bee home. And they've been friends ever since.
And what about the stinger?
The stinger?
Yeah, the thing on the butt.
I don't know, man.
Isn't it a stinger? Do queen bees have stingers?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. But they had a relationship, man.
I'm not
They had
going
a
to lie. I
relationship.
probably would have just smashed it thinking it was like a cockroach.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
A bee does not look like a cockroach.
It's a bee. The real question is, can she still take it on American as a support animal? No? Anyone?
I don't know. I mean, if I had the opportunity to talk to a bee psychologist, I have one question I would ask.
Yeah.
If a bumblebee stung a bumblebee on the bumblebee's bum bee, what color would the bumblebee's bum be? That's a very important question that us bee lovers want answered.
You're so dumb. Gosh, dude.
Oh, my music ran out. Hold on. If a bumblebee stung a bumblebee on the bumblebee's bum bee, what color would the bumblebee's bum be? It's a great question.
Remember Stormy said, I know for certain species of bees only live for like 21 days.
21 days. That's a healthy relationship. 21 days? I think that's the new dating. That's the new length of a good relationship is 21 days.
Which, by the way,
Then you move on.
When realizing that bees only live like 21 days, it really, really changes the bee movie.
Sure does. Mm-hmm.
So dumb.
Bring it back, Steve-O.
No, I got nothing. I've got nothing.
You know, this relationship that this librarian assistant had with the bee is much like our relationship should be with one another, a relationship with Christ, and we
Why
can all
is that,
learn
Dex?
something from
Why
this
is that?
story.
Go ahead.
The
tell me-
honey
tell
is
me why.
sweet when taken properly. It's been a theme of our show this morning.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, my music ran out. Hold
Actually,
on.
don't. I don't want you to run free and Andy Stanley this, man.
I'm going to Andy Stanley this. I'm going to Rob Bell this so hard. It's going to be mind-blowing.
You might say the wrong thing, so I'm like, no.
You know what? I'm
no
just going to be
free
quiet
reign.
from now on.
No free reign.
I shouldn't be allowed to talk. I
Pat
think I
says-
just got fired.
Bring it back around, Dex. Come on.
Bring it. I just did.
Just bring it back around.
Honeycomb is sweet. Isn't that a proverb?
That's the whole proverb.
That's it.
Speaking of the honeycomb, how bad was the honeycomb in Samson? Can we go back to that movie? Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
The
No.
honeycomb he found in the dead lion?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They explained that one poorly.
Yeah.
Gosh, guys, that movie was terrible. Come on.
Yeah, why okay, why can't why is it wrong to have a bee as a pet when you can have a tarantula? That's an insect.
That is, and I actually had one in high school.
Yeah, okay. You're making fun of bee as a pet.
Yeah, but that's so dumb.
What about a ladybug? What about an ant farm?
A wingless, like, are you just gonna keep it in like a mason jar next to your bed? Like, I don't get this at all. I really don't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There's a difference between a tarantula that's been trained at PetSmart
Really?
and a bee.
Wow. Look at it. There it is right there. It's a picture of it right on her nose.
Oh my gosh!
She has the bee on
it's not
her
a
nose.
queen bee, you idiot. It's a bumblebee.
That's what I said, a bumblebee.
Then why is everybody talking about a queen
well,
bee?
it's a queen bee as well. It's a queen bumblebee.
No. Oh my gosh.
It's a bumblebee queen.
That's totally different than a...
Are you a bee expert?
No, but you
Then
better...
be out of here.
I'm sorry. I want to pause for a moment to reflect on the fact that you just said, be out of here. That was the best thing you could come up with? Be out of here?
Then you be out of here. I don't know what I don't know. Just gonna be quiet. My music stopped again. Yeah, it's a bumblebee queen.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about a woman in the Highlands that has become the first person known to have kept a bumblebee as a pet.
Yep. It's true, guys.
What are you known for? That's the question
Ooh,
of the
that's
day.
a great topic. What are you known for?
585 Live. I met somebody yesterday who said they were famous Because they were a treasure hunter.
Really?
Yeah, that's real.
They were a treasure hunter?
Yeah. Somebody said, man, you really missed the mark. You should have said buzz off.
Darn it.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you just be aware of your surroundings? Huh? Can't believe you.
Yep. Bring him in, Starmy. Bring him in. We want to hear him. Bring him in.
What are you known for? Yeah, no kidding. You know that old guy that like wrote the treasure map in the book or whatever, and like a poem or something?
Yeah.
She like was on Inside Edition or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like search and rescue, doing crazy things.
Huh.
And talking about she was famous for that, and I was like, oh.
Has she found treasure before?
I don't think so.
Oh. Can you call yourself a treasure hunter if you've never found treasure?
Yes, because you're hunting for it. It doesn't necessarily mean you found it.
That's true.
Well, I don't know, because if you say you're an elk hunter, but you've never like tagged an elk, can you say you're an elk hunter or you're an elk
hunter?
You're an elk pursuer. Maybe she's just a treasure pursuer.
Yeah.
Hasn't necessarily found it. However,
hunting doesn't necessarily mean you're going to find it, though.
But pretty passionate about that hunt. And scripture says, where your heart is, there your treasure will be also.
Yeah. Yep. Wrong version of the Bible.
I was going NIV.
Yeah.
You were rocking the DEX version.
The New Earth version. The beautiful version, guys. This person said this article is one of the reasons why I do not subscribe or buy paper copies of The Scotsman. Yeah, that's it. That's where I found this. The Scotsman's national newspaper.
Somebody says I am known for texting the live line too much. Also, Dexter, you should have said, be gone!
Be gone! It's a good one. See, guys? I need your help. I need your help in these situations. You guys be fast. Be faster. Be faster. This might be the greatest and worst break we've ever done in our lives. Wow, I got like 20 text messages. That's cool.
What are they saying?
Yeah, I can't read them.
Somebody said it's definitely a beautiful day to be listening to the morning show. Stacy says, you be hilarious.
Thank you.
Somebody else said, can we be done with this topic, please?
Yeah, we can. I mean...
Also, behave.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's cool, man.
Good news, ladies and gentlemen.
Good news is good news, and the good news is...
I've got good news and good news. Pretty good.
Put some good in your morning.
Good news, there's a monkey jumping on houses in the neighborhood.
Good news!
Yeah, guys, this is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, a good segue from talking about this beautiful bee relationship. Because, you know, relationships are hard. High school sweethearts. 47-year-old woman in Kansas City named Shelly reconnected with her ex-boyfriend Phil about 3 years ago after she found him on Facebook. They dated for a while as teenagers, but they broke up over 30 years ago. The spark was still there. I feel like this story is not going to go well with a lot of relationships.
Why?
Because anybody that knows that you had a high school sweetheart is going to think now that there's the spark
you
there.
You still have feelings for them.
You still have feelings.
Oh, my gosh.
Because after 30 years. So this is what happened. So they broke up when they were teenagers. They hadn't seen each other 30 years. But apparently the spark was still there. They started dating again. And last Tuesday they got married on the lawn of their old high school. It was a small ceremony with a few friends and family. Shelly's uncle officiated. String quartet from the school's orchestra did the music. There they are right there. Look at that. Beautiful couple. Look at that
nobody
guy.
can see that.
Look at that guy.
It's radio.
That guy probably needs to lay off the McDonald's.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm serious.
Yeah, but look at their high school photo.
Okay, let's see how much. Yeah.
Huh.
Wow. He got her? What? What? How did that happen? He must have a great personality. Sorry. Again, I did not read this story to cause anyone to stumble. And I feel like that's what happened.
Why?
Because I feel like there's marriages out there, and you've heard that your partner had this sweetheart, high school sweetheart, and now you're going to think, oh my gosh, are they thinking about their high school sweetheart still?
Somebody said, not me, I married my high school sweetheart.
Oh.
Good for you. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think everybody... I mean, you can have dated somebody in high school. It doesn't necessarily mean you're still, like, hung up on them.
Is that your one first true love? Is because the first time you fell in love is your high school sweetheart?
Shut up,
what?
dude.
I'm just asking.
As a teenager, can you really say, like, no, bro, this was it?
First love hurts the worst.
No.
Why did it hurt so bad back then?
Because you're at 7.
Why did it hurt so bad? Why did it feel like I wanted to die then, huh?
Because you're hanging on your emotions, you idiot. That's why scripture talks about your heart being like deceptive. Like above all, it's like wicked, bro. Because you're like, oh, she's so great. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with her. We're breaking up. Oh, no, I don't know how to live and breathe. Oh, I'm going to go see Billy Madison. I'll see you later. All right.
For using text to landline.
Oh, cool.
Dope. Darn it.
Dope. We missed it.
Sorry. Call back.
Yeah.
505-338-3700. Do you still have that spark for your high school sweetheart?
That's not the question.
I'm taking a poll right now. See how many. I wish there was a little more to the story, you know? Like, how did the marriage end? Were they in relationships before, you know? Was that guy single for 30 years and then finally he was on Facebook and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go and check out my old high school sweetheart.
I mean, that's how it happened in This Is Us.
That's true, right?
You know what I'm saying? Didn't even think about the person.
That is true.
And then all of a sudden, one day on Facebook, it pops up. Friends you may know. May know.
Right?
Why? That was my first love.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different for everyone.
It is different for everyone.
But I'm telling you, like, I don't know. If there's any advice I could give to young people, it's like, hey, man, don't date. I was talking to a friend last night, and they were saying that their teenager right now, it's like in that time period. And so it's like, dude, the purpose of dating is like to pursue marriage. Are you ready for marriage? No? Then definitely don't lend your heart to another person like this.
Jeez.
You become so vulnerable and stupid.
Especially when your brain's not developed.
I'm being serious, man.
Me too. Oh, you know what? Let's hear from this couple.
It was an awesome school to go to, and we really enjoyed our time here, so we thought it's the perfect place to get married.
I contacted the principal here at Oak Park and asked permission, obviously, to get married out front. And
it all makes sense.
It just snowballed from there. Everyone has been so excited for us.
I just looked him up on Facebook. Just missing him.
It's exploded. It was like we've never been separated in life.
Are they in slow motion?
Laurel.
What the heck? I don't understand, man. And what happened the past 30 years? That's what I want to know. What were you doing?
Hey, man, the past doesn't matter. All that matters is that they reconnected. They found each other. Reunited, and it feels so good.
It was an awesome school to go.
Okay. It was an awesome school.
Stop it. Gosh.
What?
Can't you just be happy for the couple?
No, I'm very happy, especially for him. What? Yep. There you go. You know what? Love is not dead, guys.
We gotta take 50. A bee rake.
Oh my
man.
gosh! Look at the time.
Yep.
Look at the time. Let's go to break. 505-585-LIVE. They sound so happy, Cynthia said. Yeah, they do. All right. We're live from the Dreamstar Modeling Star 88 Studios. Hang out. We'll be right back.
Warning from John Wesley. What one generation tolerates, the next generation will embrace. A solar flare on Star 88.
We were young, we were brave, with our eyes wide shut. In the choices we made, well, you lit the match, and I got caught with the flames. And your voice still rings out through my mind, and the thorns still twist down in my side. All the promises said that we left for dead in the night. Because I'm moving on, letting go, forget the past, I'm giving up the ghost. All we are is fading stars. Life's too short to stay where we are. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Maybe I'm broken, maybe it's the fate, maybe it's the moment you said I had changed. Where did 13 years go? Like I didn't know you at all. Because I'm moving on, letting go, forget the past, I'm giving up the ghost. All we are is fading stars. Life's too short to stay where we are. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. I heard you were back with regrets and you meant it. I had a reply to your text, never sent it. When bridges are burning, an accusation. Funny how time is the great revelation. Moving on, letting go, forget the past, I'm giving up the ghost. All we are is fading stars. Life's too short to stay where we are. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on. Forgive and let live and move on. Tell me that you're gonna make me stronger. Forgive and let live and move on.
Ben Corson considers fear with a Star 88 PowerPoint.
You're going to live twice. And I'm telling you, according to the Bible, when you die, it's going to be awesome afterwards. It's going to be an epic reality. It's like going from womb to world. It's like going from caterpillar to butterfly. It's like watching the Minions movie and then moving on to Star Wars. That's how great the jump is going to be from this life into the next world that God has created for us as children of our Father in heaven because we believe on him who had sent Jesus. We have passed from death into life. From womb to world, like imagine if you were a baby and you like peek out of the womb and you're like, whoa, it's a scary world out there. So you close the womb like curtains back on yourself and you just hide in your mother's womb. And imagine you're a 28-year-old in the womb with a beard. It's an epic experience and you don't want to stay in the comfort zone. Great things will never come from that comfort zone. Like get out. Don't be a 28-year-old bearded baby in the womb.
That's Ben Corson. a PowerPoint on Star 88.
What's going on in the news today?
Uber reverses a controversial policy on the way sexual assault or harassment claims are handled.
If you got into an Uber, it meant you'd agreed to arbitration, not court, if you had a legal issue with the company, unless you'd opted out within a specific time frame. That went for employees as well. Well, now Uber says that's over. If you have a claim, you can take it to court.
Writer Tom Wolfe, often seen in his trademark white suit, best known for Bonfire of the Vanities, made into a 1990 film starring Bruce Willis and Tom Hanks.
You want to build a road or a hospital, and you need a lot of money?
Also known for The Right Stuff, adapted from his book immortalizing America's first astronauts and Chuck Yeager, the pilot who broke the sound barrier.
Some kind of war here.
His agent said he died after an infection.
Some cafeteria workers are told to not give a child a hot meal if records show their parents are behind on lunch money payments.
Robinson Cano, the Seattle Mariners all-star second baseman, is suspended for 80 games over a drug violation.
Facebook details how it finds content which violates its standards and how many flagged posts were recently purged from the site. Reps say in the first quarter of this year, the social network disabled more than 580 million fake accounts and took down over 830 million pieces of spam.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. TMI. Morning Invasion. Being brought to you by Preston Hart. Screen printing, live printing, graphic design. PrestonHart.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You guys can go and watch the show, listen to it later. We upload all the shows right after 10 o'clock each day. Don't forget to download the Star 88 app to your smartphone and stream us live. 505-338-3700 if you'd like to call in, or 505-585-LIVE. You can text in, and you can also leave a voicemail. I expect voicemails tomorrow morning. That's right. Not butt dials. But shout out to that beautiful Starmy member that, you know, sounded like she was really, you know, she was fighting that high price, man. I mean, she was not gonna go down easy. I don't know. 505-585-LIVE. You can call it, leave a voicemail. Have fun with it. Be serious. I don't care. Whatever. All right, we didn't get a chance to get to a couple things this morning. We got something on Snoop Dogg making a gospel album.
Did you hear about this?
No, well, I heard about it. I haven't heard. Is it done? Is there?
Yeah.
Really?
Do you want to listen to it?
Yeah. Is it on here? Is this it?
I'm like, do we want to press play on that?
It's a gospel album, Steve-O. Of course we can.
Oh,
it's like, that's like the number one thing we can do. Here we go. Here it is. Snoop D-O-G-G. Words Are Few, featuring B. Slade. Gospel version. Maybe you should text Chip. Will you text him real quick for me?
Nope. You already pressed play.
Well, I just feel like
you already pressed play.
I mean,
the song's called Words Are Few.
Hold on. I mean,
now listen. It's a 32-track album.
Whoa.
This isn't like some little thing. Snoop Dogg took a look at the gospel music scene and was like, yes, please.
I'm texting Chip.
Okay. The record's called Bible of Love. It's his first release on his new gospel record label. Snoop Dogg has a gospel record label. I don't know, dude. He posts for photos with people. He's been out and about, and he's definitely a busy dude. Which is probably why he decided against a full-length rap album of himself and decided to grab some people who knew a thing or two in the gospel world. I don't know, man. In his promotion for Bible of Love, he attributes his desire to make a gospel album to his ongoing quest to preach peace and love. He said that's the same worldview that inspired his ill-advised reggae phase in 2013, where he changed his name to Snoop Lion and clumsily sang his way through his Reincarnated album. I guess he reserves the vocal duties for Faith Evans, Rance Allen, B. Slade. He's more a curator, as USA Today put it, than an artist on Bible of Love. So he only drops lines on the album's closing track, Words Are Few.
That's the one I got. Just waiting for Chip to text me back.
Will you just play it?
Well, I already texted him. What if he says no and we already played it?
Why wouldn't we? This is his gospel
guy
track.
that always gets in trouble.
That's true. Don't listen to me.
I'm using wisdom right
I mean, think about this, guys. Snoop Dogg is he put out, you know what? Daniel, can we sample this Snoop Dogg gospel track?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Okay.
All right. I'll say never mind. Daniel already approved it.
He's our operations manager.
There are times when I don't want to speak. Grab a pen, scratch a chin, make a beat. Maybe not smoking on the beach.
See?
Paranoid with my boys, with my keys. In my head, in the clouds, is that him? Now my boys tripping hard like chill. So I'm mute with a mouth full of boo. Now my boys think I'm ill. What the deal?
What is gospel about this? I'm like waiting for the gospel to kick in, and I'm like, I don't hear it.
Is this B Slade right here? Is this B Slade?
I'm not mad at you. Things I'm going through make me act a fool. Please don't think I'm cruel. Really, normally I'm cool. There is nothing you can do. Hey, when my words are few, things ain't what they seem. Feeling like I'm fooling me. I know God.
Why does it feel like he's not on the beat?
I'm supposed to be sitting here smoking when I should be on my knees.
Okay. All right. How does that make you feel, Stormy? What do you think?
Well, here's the thing.
I mean, it's real.
It's nothing new to see an artist
pretty raw
wanting to quote, like, give thanks to God, right? This has been since the history of time at the Grammys. You see this dude who gets up there and it's like, album title you can't even say on the radio because of FCC regulations. And it's like, first of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, and you're like, I'm sorry. What did you just say, Ja Rule?
Yeah.
But the question is, he put out a 32-song gospel album. USA Today says, in reality, this album is spiritually uplifting, consistently enjoyable, and even moving at times, with Snoop making just enough appearances to remind listeners of his involvement and doing some soul-bearing in the process, like on his spoken word storytelling tracks called Pain. He says, quote, a lot of times you see me performing for thousands of people, filling their hearts with love and joy, not knowing that I'm going through so much pain. But God knows everything, and I mean everything that I'm going through. Okay. Apparently it's raw, it's real, and he talks about how hard life can be and how he should be doing different things. Right.
On his knees
how he
instead of
should be
smoking.
doing different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my words are few. Why you hounding me?
Huh? Because Snoop Dogg, why are you hounding me?
Ain't in no mood for no parking lot prophecies. That's why at benediction you can't find me.
Okay, I'm good.
I mean, let's see what people are saying here.
I mean, he's 46 years old. I mean that to say, you begin as Solomon did, right? This dude's had a pretty lofty career. Financially speaking, he's done very, very well. He's an entrepreneur. Him and Martha Stewart teamed up for a TV show, right? Like, he's doing all these things. He has smoked all the weed and done all of the things. But in that, he has not found what he is looking for, you two. So is it that hard to believe that this dude who's 46 years old is like searching?
Well, somebody said on one of the comments under the video, Jacob was a cheater, Peter had a temper, David had an affair, Noah got drunk, Jonah ran from God, Paul was a murderer, which goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Yet God called these and more to lead his people out of something. That tells me one thing, that God has no respect of persons. Get your mouth of Snoop Dogg. You don't know what is going on in that man's life or what God is doing. Get your mouth off that. Get your mouth off that. You were not born saved. 2 thumbs up for Bible of Love.
Thanks, bro.
I'm just reading what you put.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So here's a question then, because a member of the Starmy just chimed in with this very thing. What is the definition of a gospel album? Is it praise? Is it
yeah, praise
like
to God.
Worship, like gospel?
Worship. Yeah, right.
And do we completely just write him off because of his past?
It's a hymn. It's a song. It's a praise. It's a worship to God.
According to Wikipedia, gospel music is a genre of Christian music. The creation, performance, significance, and definition varies according to culture. Gospel music is composed and performed for many purposes: aesthetic pleasure, religious, ceremonial purposes, and as an entertainment product for the marketplace.
Okay.
So the question is, Snoop Dogg puts out this 32-track album, and are you going to listen to it? I mean...
Anthony's not. He says, get behind me, Satan. People are actually defending this nonsense. Wow. Lord, help us. The devil's best lie is 1 degree from the truth, and he comes as an angel of light. I will continue to pray that God raise up and cast down the forces of darkness. I will defend the gospel to my dying breath.
Man.
Oof. Okay.
But I mean, in that, get behind me, Satan. So he's saying that like Snoop is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Mm-hmm. False prophet.
Like he's just there to like draw some away, to lead people astray. Like that was a rhyme. Snoop Dogg. Somebody said, Rodney said it ain't gospel, but it's a creative release of his emotions. I wouldn't buy it, but the one thing I like is that it touches on life and questions of faith. But if he's doing it for the money and there's plenty of that around, then that stinks.
Yeah, who knows? That's the thing. We don't know where his heart is at, you know? I mean, from what it sounds like, I mean, this is something he grew up with. This was a big part of his life.
Right. A member of the Starmy chimed in and said, I've actually listened to it. It's all right. It's like a collab. He doesn't do the whole lot of singing on it. He was saying it's about how the church is a hospital full of healthy people, but the sickies aren't allowed in is one thing that she got from it. Mark says, I do not know God's plan for him, and I also don't know Snoop. Music is okay. I'm reminded of the Pharisees and how they reacted to Jesus. So Cynthia says, I like Snoop, though. I don't know, man. I'm not necessarily... like, oh, man, I want to run out and get it. But I also don't want to prejudge the heart behind it. Because instantaneously, that's what we're all doing.
Right.
Yeah, but it's Snoop Dogg, yo. Dude's a rapper. He smokes weed and sings about chronic and all these, you know what I mean? It's like he raps this and that. And like, and now he's 46 years old putting out a gospel album. No way. And I do think we need to have discernment. I do think we need to be cautious. But at the same time, like, as people are referencing different people in Scripture, Paul, like, was murdering Christians and then gave his life to Jesus, like, surrendered all, ended up writing a pretty good chunk of the New Testament.
Right.
But how many people still saw Paul as, like, this Christian murderer and was like, no way, bro, get behind me, Satan. There's no way I'm going to listen to this false prophet.
God can't use him.
God will never use that guy.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be cautious.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time when it comes to just judging it, like right there, based upon his past, not upon what he's doing currently.
Right.
Somebody said, I'm not sure if it's true gospel since he was, not sure if it's true gospel since he was smoking a big blunt last night on his Instagram. Okay.
All right.
Somebody said, I don't like it. Somebody says, hang him up, Snoop, please. Somebody else said, my cringe meter just blew up. I just can't even. Somebody else said, no, and I can't stand the guy who only loves his pillow and his mama, but it's God's plan. I feel like this is a money grab.
Brian on Facebook says, it's a little weird that Snoop is dropping a gospel album, but how cool is that Snoop is interested in Jesus?
Somebody else said, you guys should check out Coach Snoop. He's got a show on Netflix.
I wouldn't want to watch that.
They said he's actually a really good dude. Somebody said, okay, so are we to question this because Snoop Dogg smokes insane amounts of weed? What if it was Kanye West who did this? How would we feel?
I don't know.
I don't necessarily say I would I question this because of his intake of marijuana.
Yeah.
Because I remember when Kanye came out with Jesus Walks, and people were like, dude, Kanye's rapping about Jesus. And then it was like, lyrically interesting. Definitely not. I could just see all the Christian kids Mom, let me listen to it. It's called Jesus Walks. And I'm like, no, don't.
It's Jesus Walks.
Okay. Somebody said, what's different from this than Elvis Presley? He was a drug addict, and he made a great gospel album.
You know what?
Dang.
Whoa. That's it right there.
Right?
Elvis. When Elvis came on the scene, do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, people.
No, that's an interesting take right there.
People were thinking he was the devil, man, the way that he was moving and dancing, and they thought that was not of God, you know?
Somebody said, from what I've heard, he actually made this for his grandma. I remember that in an interview. He talked about that. His grandmother, I believe she was Baptist, right? She was like a Baptist. I'm going to go back and find it.
Yeah, he talked about how he always wanted to do a gospel album.
Yeah.
You know?
It was something that was very important to him at this time in his life at 46 years old and wanting to go in a different direction. But then, I don't know, man. Somebody said, Katie says, what's interesting is everyone is doing exactly what Snoop was talking about on the album. The church is so sterile these days. Interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody else mentioned Johnny Cash.
Yep.
I remember when people used to hate on Lecrae because he was labeled gospel. Now he's mainstream and isn't gospel anymore. Somebody said only time will tell with this.
You guys can chime in. We're on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You can also text in at 505-585-LIVE. And phone lines are open. We got a few more minutes left. 505-338-3700.
Somebody else said, yeah, but where did you ever hear anywhere that Snoop Dogg gave his life to God? Snoop never said anything about giving his life to God. You would think that he would advertise that somewhere. I don't know. Somebody else said there have been many times where non-Christian things have led people to Jesus, so why couldn't this? God uses many things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Somebody said, all right, gospel album, would you sing this in church? But there's a difference to me between a gospel album and a worship album.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of gospel songs I wouldn't necessarily sing in church.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Somebody else says a gospel artist doesn't necessarily mean a born-again artist. And I think that's something we need to think about because I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen some pretty incredible artists do some pretty stupid things behind the scenes. We're all humans. We all fail. Now, I'm not excusing Snoop Dogg for his lifestyle. I'm definitely not saying that. I do think, as I said in the beginning, we need to be cautious. But within that, I also think we need to be careful in just immediately trashing something or throwing something out and saying God can't use that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The fact that God uses me, uses
yeah,
Steve-O
dude, I'm an
to do
idiot,
what we do.
man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
But I will say, I absolutely do proclaim that I love Jesus.
Yeah.
That this is why we do this ministry, is to point others to Jesus Christ. There's no shame in that, and there's no denying it, and there's no hidden agenda in that. You know what I mean? There's a reason why we work in a ministry. There's a reason why we pour out every single day into this place. And it's definitely not for the paycheck.
I don't know what he's talking about, man.
Well, not all of us, make that Dex money.
I mean, I didn't want to say it.
Somebody said it all comes down to the fruit of Snoop's words in the album. If you're just joining us, Snoop Dogg released a gospel album, 32 tracks. And depending upon the source that you go to, some are saying it's actually pretty wonderful. USA Today said it was a fantastic album. I'd be interested to know what others are saying about it. It's a #1 right now on Billboard, by the way. First #1 on the top gospel album charts.
Yeah. It's to me, hearing people chime in, text in on Facebook and YouTube, talking about, I mean, I see a lot of judging. I see people being very judgmental towards Snoop Dogg when we don't know where he's at. We don't know his heart.
We don't.
Do we follow him around all the time?
But a surefire way to turn off him from wanting anything to do with the church is saying half of the things that we're hearing.
That's exactly right. Exactly
it's
right.
Like somebody is like searching and they don't necessarily have the answers, and maybe God is stirring something up in him. And
he's on the right track.
Surefire way to like just step on that.
Yeah. Let's put that fire out. Let's accuse him of not being of God.
Yeah.
And let's judge his heart. No, let's stop that. Yeah. Like maybe look at that in a completely different way than how you're viewing it. Yeah, it's Snoop Dogg. Yeah, he has a crazy lifestyle. But maybe God is using that. Maybe God is changing his heart. We're all changing.
Mark says, I see a lot of people who pretend to have insight about others. Regardless of my opinion, what I do know is I will be judged, and I'm focused on me being pleasing to God. I'm a sheep. I know my shepherd's voice. And on a side note, I look forward to the white polyester robe in heaven.
Oh, that robe. I tell you what, don't get me started. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Ethan Rowe with you.
Hey, Ethan. We got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking to all the haters, and I'm not the biggest Snoop fan, but to all the haters, how big is your God?
How big is your God?
Truly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at work all around us in all sorts of different ways, and everything happens for a reason. So it's like, how big is your God if you're hating on this? Because, hey, so he's having a crisis, but he's not ready to come out with it.
Yeah.
Where's the love the church is supposed to exhibit?
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Thanks for the call.
Good stuff,
That's it, buddy.
Good words, man.
Later.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Good morning. We got about a minute left.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just wanted to bring up something I read last night. It said, love can't hurt anyone. So, when it comes down to it, if he wants to put out an album that shares some love, that can't hurt anybody. Only people that want to get angry and upset and hate. I mean, that's where the hurt comes from, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Good stuff, man. Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day, guys.
You too, man.
Yeah.
All right, on that note.
Guess we're done.
We done. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Man, we had some pretty good conversations this morning. We talked about bees and relationships. We talked about, what else did we talk about? Fast food. We talked to Greg Laurie this morning. Well, yeah, we did. We had him on the show.
Yeah.
We talked Shia LaBeouf and how he saw God through an amazing man named Zach.
Interesting themes this morning. Because seriously, somebody said one of my favorite bands when I was younger was As I Lay Dying. Amazingly deep and thoughtful lyrics centered on Christian values. But then all the stuff happened with the lead singer, hiring a hitman to kill his wife. At least Snoop is honest about his lifestyle right now, and we don't know what God's going to do in the future with him.
Yeah.
Pray for him, man.
Pray for him.
Seriously. #1 gospel album on Billboard right now. Snoop Dogg.
All right, man, we got to go. Thank you, Facebook, YouTube. We love you.
Yeah.
Have a great day, you guys. We'll see you.
That's all we got. There ain't no more. That's right. Time is tight. It's the end of the show.
Star 88 thanks Jake Canales at Doorway Home Loans for becoming a power partner. Jake Canales at Doorway Home Loans provides VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional home loans for purchase and refinance mortgages. Jake Canales, Doorway Home Loans, 505-261-5138. Doorway.com/Jake-Canales.